possession is cut. Come on, Will. 4th and 10.
We're live.
Game over. I just lost the Bear games and pick'ems because of defense and special teams.
No, you didn't.
That's crazy.
Hey, CJ Anderson,
to the
Peter
painted
Schaffer.
nail quarterback. Oh, my bad.
It's okay. We're live. I'm just making sure you know, so you can. So we're here to watch the Bronco game with you guys and finish up the early games here on the first week of NFL Sunday. What's the game that's intrigued you the most here so far, Peter?
There's a ton of them. Every one of them. Oh, right now the Texans are up by 2 with 1:52 left. The spread was 3. They screwed up at halftime. Should have had a field goal. That's going to screw the spread.
Yep.
How about the Patriots, who some people said would not even win a game this year, beating the Bengals? Cardinals were up by 6. Cardinals were up by 17 over the Bills, and they're about to lose. Dolphins, Jaguars, who had them 17-17.
I know. Go Dolphins. Let's go.
How bad are the Panthers?
Don't get CJ started. He's been going for like 20 minutes in the prep here about the Panthers. So he's got some questions for your boy Scott on that too.
Yeah, and how about and the Steelers squeaking? No, I wouldn't say squeaking one out. I'd say Mike Tomlining one out.
That's.
I mean, I'm with you, Pete. I mean, obviously, Tennessee. I'm rooting for Callahan, so that's disappointing. Like Caleb Williams is jumping up and down like he did something today. Offense was atrocious, but defensive special teams, complimentary football, you got to have that. Buffalo wins in a sloppy game, but I think Arizona's going to be better than what people think, especially if Kyler is healthy. So that helps them. We all hoping Joe Mixon, except for Peter, doesn't rush for 172 to pass my career high. However,
hey Peter, is it like you know a lot of running backs in the league? Like CJ again, his 2 things were the Panthers and Joe Mixon, breaking his PR. Are running backs as petty as they sound when you start talking to them with their records?
I wouldn't say petty. They're cognizant of everything. is what I would say. They're very cognizant of all things. And then what time do the Broncos start here?
They should be starting
105, 3 minutes. They should be starting in 3 minutes.
Yep.
And then obviously to piggyback on what Pete said about the Jags and the Dolphins, the Jags was a good football team. They had a bad year, but they're a good football team and well coached. I don't know why last year Trevor Lawrence didn't play so well, but the Jags is doing what I thought exactly what they would do, would come out and compete. If anything, I guess the biggest surprise is how good Sam Darnold played today, right? I was obviously pick 6 on that end too. We can count on Daniel Jones and throw you one, but
Joe got to break one right here, Joe. If he breaks this, it's game over.
But he did. He just got a first. But if with the Vikings playing well, that helps out too. So interesting how that all works. But now I'm putting the Bronco game on.
So the question I have for you guys, especially CJ, is first game rookie Bo Nix. Do we believe? But the game speed difference from all his years in college at Oregon and Auburn, now playing against NFL number 1s instead of preseason. What's the game speed difference look like? It's going to look like for Bo Nix going into week 1 here.
It'd be more the D-line. The D-line game speed and strength is the biggest. That's what I got to learn at playing running back at an early career. That the D-line, they're a lot quicker and faster and way stronger arm tackles that I'm used to breaking, right? I had to get my pads completely down, run with a little bit more force. But some of those guys, like I played against Vince Wilfork, and Vince have tackled me with one arm before. For a quarterback, it's like rhythm and timing. And that rhythm and timing changes, right, when you have D linemen who are 1s, right, who's been in the league for a long time, pinning their ears back and coming to get you. So Sean got to do a good job of keeping it balanced, but that would be the biggest change for Bo Nix, is seeing the difference in the D-line being faster. I think the other speeds is that's football, right? There's windows and there's holes, and he'll be able to get the ball out and do those things. But that D-line on his heels will be completely new than what he had in the SEC and obviously in the Pac-12.
No, that makes a lot of sense. So what was it like for you getting the first carry your rookie year? Like you played with Manning your rookie year. What was that like?
Yeah, so it was against Washington Redskins at the time, so don't ding us, but Commanders now. But it was the Redskins at the time, and I had like 4 carries for like 27 yards. But we were kind of going up tempo, and Peyton is screaming out the code word, and then he turns around, he's getting ready to tell me, and I'm like, I know it! Like I scream back at him. You can hear me on the TV copy, right? And then in the meeting on Monday, he goes, CJ, why? Hey, you don't have to yell at me. He like making a joke, and I go, I didn't want to be like, I didn't want them on the TV copy to say, Peyton always have to tell the running backs what to do. Like, I didn't want to be that guy. Like, I knew what to do, right? So I just made sure Peyton knew that. It's kind of a good joke me and him have, but I made sure that he knew that I knew. So I wasn't the guy that some of these commentators, are like, Peyton is always telling the running backs where to go. Like, I didn't want to do that.
No,
So what was the code word?
It was inside zone to the right.
Fluff. Am I doing the fluff right, CJ?
No fluff today, but that's how you do it. But no fluff on that one. It was inside zone to the right. And had to do something with the Bills, but I can't remember the name back in that time. So Seahawks is rocking the old unis.
Whoa.
Look at that. We gotta like that, right, Pete?
I love those uniforms.
Those are great.
I love them.
Me too.
No, those are fire. The new Seahawks are just some new stuff. Just doesn't work for me. The Giants today it was painful. Not only watching them play football, but
that's how the score looked too.
watching the Montreal Canadiens out there in their uniforms.
Yeah, that's how the score looked too. The score looked just like their jerseys. Ugly.
Just a reminder, you guys, the live feed is out there on Twitter or X. You guys can just retweet that if you want, so you guys can see it.
Comes out with the sack, first play of the game.
VJ dialed up a little pressure.
How far ahead are you guys on me on this?
I'm at 14:34.
Yeah, I'm right.
Geno Smith is just breaking the huddle in the first play for me.
Well, good thing we're commentating the game. Nice little sack right there for Cooper and the Broncos, man. Pete, you know Vince very well. What about Vince Joseph? Obviously, I had him as a head coach.
Pick second play of the game.
What about Vince Joseph do you like? There's the interception right there. Look at that, to the tackling machine. Here come the Broncos. You want to start Bo Nix? You want to believe in Bo Nix? This is a great time, right? Starting his career off in the red zone. This is huge.
VJ told me the key was, can the defense give him a short field? And 2 plays in, they got a short field.
Yeah, I mean, that helps tremendously. I mean, the pressure.
Hey,
Rob,
right I'm getting a question from someone. How do people ask questions?
Just put it in the comments and it'll come up. Leave your thoughts, questions in the comments, and I'll put it up on the screen for the guys to answer. Whether it's on Twitter or YouTube, it should come up on our.
We answering all questions, man. I'm answering all questions.
We want you to send in questions. We want to know what you guys are thinking. By the way, it's final. Dolphins took out Jacksonville. Let's go.
That's a good pick 'em win for me. There go Javonte. Javonte looks good. Oh, pick your legs up. Cycle that near hip. I teach my running backs to cycle that near hip, right? Something that I learned from Noshawn Marino, something I did not really do a lot as a player myself until I realized it as a coach. Like, I could have had a lot more yards in my career if I just picked up that near hip.
You wouldn't be so close to catching you.
It is interesting commentating, watching the games. And then I've also got the other 4 games on, monitoring my phone for texts. There's a lot going on here.
Oh, yeah.
We're working hard.
So, all right, Broncos have run the ball the first 2 times. I think that's important. That goes to show you what Sean's thinking. We're not going to put the game in the hands of a rookie quarterback.
Well, that, and also, you got the 12th man. I mean, it's definitely loud in Seattle for sure. So, quickest way to get the crowd out the game is find a way to run the ball and keep the run consistent to keep the crowd out the game, because you're making things third and manageable. So, when you hear that, every stadium has that third down. Dong, it's third down, and everybody start yelling. But they usually do that when it's like 3rd and 6 plus. So 3rd and 2, you're not hearing that dong too much where the crowd is going crazy. You can see how loud it is. Bo is screaming in the huddle right now.
We want him to get more than just a field goal here on the turnover with the short field.
Let it go.
He's a little bit more athletic than people think he is.
Broncos are taking 3 here.
But still, that was an athletic move right there. No
problem. Yeah, he got away. He got away from from the defensive end. But that's the difference. Like a play like that right there, right, where Bo probably just gets around the corner a lot easier, or Bo, because Bo's faster than the D lineman, he can just toss it over the top, right, to get it. The fact that D lineman was in his face so fast, right, kind of shocks Bo, and that's kind of the difference that Bo's going to see, right, from college to the NFL.
That game speed difference.
What is this formation? Oh, looks like they were thinking about faking it.
I've seen that. You seen that? And they come in.
What was that? What was Sean thinking there?
Tush push. That's what it looks like. But it was tush pushing with Riley.
Fake what's worse than the tush push? The fake tush push.
Who's tush pushing with Riley Dixon? Obviously, Riley is the last teammate I played with in my last year of the Denver Broncos. So shout out to the original OG over there, Riley Dixon.
So they get the field goal to start it.
So points off turnovers is good, but you gotta score 7, right? I mean, you can't think Seattle's gonna come out there and give you another layup in the first 2 plays. You got to find a way to put 7 on the board, but that's good for Denver. Right? Obviously, Seattle should be running the football though, but hey, we're not on Seattle's side today.
So, all right. So now that we got a commercial in the game, the other games are about to start. Cowboys about to start. Some things from yesterday, college football. Notre Dame losing to Northern Illinois. Bang.
Tough, man.
Let's go, Mac. Let's go.
Tough. You gotta play every week. You gotta get your kids to play every week in college football, and that's tough. You're number 5 team in the country. You got playoff aspirations, and to lose it to a group of 5 school like that when you're supposed to be superior talent, that's tough. But Notre Dame didn't look good against Texas A&M, and they didn't look good last week. So it's not shocking.
How about the Buffies?
Same problem, right? Prime got to find a way to run the ball. I mean, the pick 6, right? Everybody talk about the pick 6. Like the pick 6, they come out in 11 personnel. They got the tight end attached. He's detached, but he's like behind the tackle, right? And it's only 5 in the box on the 2-yard line. It's 5 in the box for Nebraska. And then he throws the hitch to the far side of the field. Obviously, it was a pick 6, but it's like, dude, you have 5 in the box against your 6. You got to find a way to run the ball. That's numbers. You just went off numbers. Just that play, all right? There's some other players that definitely went wrong for Prime and them, but that play alone, definitely put them in the hole early. And like I said, I think Matt Rule's team was going to be more talented in year 2 than they were in year 1. And the game could have been ugly, but it seemed like Nebraska slowed it down. Obviously, you had some penalties issues too, but the game could have been in 42-3.
How about Tyreek Hill today scoring a touchdown and then reenacting his arrest?
Jeez.
You had to think it was coming, right? You had to think it was coming.
Oh, I love it.
I don't know if my agent Peter Schaffer would have advised that for me.
No, it'll be interesting to see if he gets a letter from Roger.
Oh, he's definitely getting a letter from Roger. You know that. It had to be FedEx had been in his locker on Tuesday. You know that for sure.
Yeah, well, he it might get there before FedEx.
yeah, Roger might personally take a plane to Miami and hand it off to him.
And I'm interested in this Charger on behalf of the Broncos, the Charger Raider game, because we don't know how good either team's going to be. New coaches, both situations, and if they're not very good, that's going to bode well for the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. I mean,
I got to take a quick break here. I'm getting called by a call. You guys go.
Okay.
Uh-oh. So that's what happens when you're an agent on NFL Sunday, especially when you got clients who play in the early games. I can tell you this from firsthand. Pete was the second call after every first game for me. Unless my mom was at the game, then he was the first call after every game for me.
It sounds like he was a good agent, taking care of his guys, reaching out to his guys.
Yeah, I mean, the talks that me and Pete had before the game were very helpful. And it was more Pete asking questions to make sure that we knew what was going on with the game plan. Like you said, what Pete said about VJ, Pete got a lot of connects in the league. So a couple coaches and GMs will kind of tell him what they're thinking to let us know. And we're going from there.
Hey, CJ, I got some questions for you. David Rubin's asking, how about them Cowboys? And he
So
wants
you
to
just
know.
paid Dak, which is highly interesting, right? I thought this was Dak like fight it year.
Yeah.
But you just played Dak, which is highly interesting. It'll be very interesting to see what you guys do this year. I do think you guys do win the division, so I will say that. But Philly might have something to say different. Saquon looked really good.
Oof.
But I do think you guys lose week 1. So
Wow.
I do think I think Cleveland is a solid football team. I think the defense, them at home, right? It's the first road Cowboy game in like Jerry Jones's life, which Jerry's mad at Roger. How do you put us in Cleveland week 1? It's Jerry World week 1. On Sunday Night Football, usually week 1. So, but I do have them. I don't have them winning week 1 against Cleveland.
This is not a good omen for the Broncos if Seattle's going to run the ball.
That's what I just said. If Seattle can run the ball, it's gonna be trouble.
Yeah, that's going to be.
I
I don't think the Broncos are stout enough up front. VJ's very smart. He'll scheme and he'll scheme and he'll scheme. But sometimes that house of cards, too many run plays is going to affect them.
Yeah.
I do know that in the RPO situation with Geno, that they're not worried about the R.
Yeah, right.
It's just a PO.
Not at all. Not at all.
But if they get them second and longs, that's going to make a difference. Now here they got a third and long coming up.
Hey, Peter, is your friend Al here? I think we got him in the green room.
Who's that?
Al Heiss?
Yes, that's the kicker from Northwestern. He's going to talk about he was a kicker at Northwestern. We're going to have him talk about, there he is. We're going to have him talk about the pressure of having to kick it in the last minute like in Notre Dame yesterday.
I mean, it was a 62-yard field goal. As a college kicker, that was tough anyway, but it getting blocked kind of saved him. Unless he kicked it low.
What's up, Al?
You know, good to see you guys, and you guys are legends, and I shouldn't be on this show with you guys, but I appreciate being here and chatting with you.
So, Al, let's go back to yesterday. Notre Dame, Northern Illinois. If you're on the sideline and are you trying to figure out how long you have to kick, how far is the kick going to be? Is it going to be 62? Is it going to be 52? Are you hoping for it to be shorter? What's going through your head at that point?
You know, there's so much pressure going on with that. And, you know, there's 3 things I think that kickers have in common that are really good pressure kickers. A, they have a great defensive line, great snapper, great holder, you know, because they're more important than just about anybody out there. But if you miss it, you know, the social media is going to be, you know, you missed a field goal, you know. Other thing they do to be a great college kicker, you have to stay healthy. You don't want the pressure to get to you to say, you know what, I'm going to run downfield and make the tackle, you know, because they got someone on the field there that wants to knock your lights out if you don't run right off the field, you know, so you got to get out of that. Last thing is, you know, you can't let the pressure get in the way of lining up the kick. So if you're a right-footed kicker on the right hash line, your snapper and your holder are aimed directly at the right upright, right? So if you don't line up right, you're going to push it right. So that's the pressure stuff that happens to these guys that you just can't let that happen.
So, all right, so you're in Northern Illinois, not Northwestern. You're about to upset Notre Dame. They call your number and they say, Heiss, let's go. It's snap, hold, kick, right?
Yeah, you know, there's lots of people involved, lots of pressure, you know, and that snapper and holder, that you can't underestimate how important that is, and your offensive line, you know, to keep everybody back there so you have your 1.2 seconds to let that thing rip.
Does icing the kicker actually work when they call timeouts when you're standing out there?
Sorry?
Does icing the kicker actually impact the special teams crew out there much?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. You know, if you have the timeout to do that, that's a good idea. You know, you make it think about it more. You got everybody yelling at you if you're an away game, for sure.
So as a former player and then now as a coach, I always thought in college the hashes was harder to kick because they're so wider compared to the NFL.
Yep.
Does that play a part, and is that true of why so many college kids on the hash miss kicks, right? Because if there's on the NFL hash, which is like that right middle, it's a lot easier to direct it than it is on that wide hash. That's just my assumption, but
no, that's exactly right. So college, I played college football and I played arena football. So college football, the goalposts are the widest. Then NFL, they get narrower, and the arena football, they're like teeny. So yeah, you're 100% right about that in terms of the width of those posts.
Yeah, all right, tough. So kicking in a hostile environment, Notre Dame, That can't be friendly for a visiting team kicker.
No, and if anybody's watched the Miami game today, it's all about the kicker at the end. And that's unfriendly environment makes it tough because they're so loud, and you're waiting to hear the snap call or looking for it. You want to hear it. That's tough.
All right. What about difference between grass and artificial turf?
I just saw the Miami kicker earlier miss a field goal. I don't know what the length was, and I could tell when his plant foot hit the grass is wet because his plant foot slipped and he booted it way left. But that was totally because of wet sod instead of if you were on turf. That doesn't happen as much.
All right, the Broncos have the ball again. Now Seattle's got a hell of a defense. We got Al Heiss, former college kicker, talking about yesterday's college games. But we're back with the Broncos, and it doesn't look like Sean wants to go down the field.
You got your Mile High Stadium, and you got the weather out there, which is different than here in Florida, and in the South. So that's when you add the weather in, that's a whole different thing. When I played at Northwestern, it was cold, and I was a barefooted kicker. So that football kicks a lot different, when it's cold out for sure, or if you're in a Mile High.
Look at this. I'm telling you, CJ.
So
Sean's not going down the field at all.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to find a way to stay ahead of the six, like ahead of the sticks. You definitely want to be in 3rd and 9 in the hostile environment with a rookie quarterback. So obviously, this is why you pick Bo number 12 to see what he does here on this 3rd and 9. And we're going to see it right now.
It's going to be a conservative call. You'll watch.
Underneath. Yeah, it was very conservative right there. I mean, just you gotta get your man in the rhythm, but you gotta put him in the sticks too. But like Pete, I got all the other games on, right? Just if you guys want to know, I mean, we're gonna talk about other games.
Well, that's my
guy,
Rayshon Jenkins with the hit there, though. So I'm good with that.
The hit right there?
Yeah,
you got Rayshon as a client?
Yeah. Oh yeah, from the
Look
U.
Let's
Look at that. Let's go, Ray.
Yeah, I know.
Big play, Ray. CJ. Big play, Ray.
So, Al, did you watch the Steeler game at all with Boswell kicking 6 field goals and multiples behind 50?
Boswell's a stud. I mean, a stud. Totally.
Rice Owls, right? Yeah, I think Boswell went to Rice University, where I coached.
Texas.
Pretty sure. Oh, you went to Texas?
If this podcast is going to go diminish down to what colleges kickers went to, I might have to tap out.
When you coach somewhere, you kind of tied to it, When you coach somewhere, you kind of
early. We opened the kicker can early, so
isn't Rice like the Harvard of Texas?
Yeah,
it is. It actually is. They actually won yesterday, 69-7 too. By the way, so
against
Texas Southern, nobody important. They lost week 1 to also nobody important. So, but they play for the Bayou Cup next week against the Cougars of Houston.
I hate Houston.
The kickers and punters get no respect at all. That none.
We love you guys when you guys do your job, and then we don't love you guys so much. Part of it is, though, y'all don't do none of the running or the lifting with the team. Y'all kind of have your own practice. Foxy would let some of the kickers go home, especially if they were veteran kickers. So then when you go home while we're in the middle of practice and then you come out there when it's your time and you miss it, we kind of upset.
Well,
you in that practice with us.
I remember, speaking of Seattle, CJ, the Giants played the Seahawks. So, it's a long 5-hour flight. And the kicker missed like 2 field goals and an extra point. And they wind up losing by a point. And I'm saying, if I was that kicker, a 5-hour flight back to the East Coast, he's sitting in the back, back row, one eye open. He's not sleeping. They're thinking they're gonna drop his butt out over North Dakota or something. He did not sleep.
We love you when you miss. We kind of go, you only got one job. We kind of say some stuff like that. We don't try to disrespect the kickers, but definitely want to do this. Speaking of the Cowboys game, how about Tom Brady commentating for the first time? We can't hear a little bit of Brady insight. We hear a lot about Romo. Wow, don't show that Super Bowl. That's tough. Don't show that Super Bowl on TV. That's the Super Bowl I got blown out in. That's tough.
My wife looked at Tom Brady and said, I'd pay for worse than that.
but Tom Brady commentating the first time, Rob, how you feel about that? How you feel about the insight that you like. Romo gives us a lot of insight. So can Brady give us more? Is it a little different? How do you feel about that?
I love talking to guys like you, CJ, and players when you being just a guy that watches the games and played in a church flag football league is my most football experience. It's like, so, to hear how you guys are, and hear from Peter with his interaction with the players, it's like there's an insight you get from you guys where it's much more appreciative of like what you guys are going through and preparing to get ready for. Where, I mean, when you live in a normal life, if you want to call it that, it's like you're 9 to 5 and people are like, oh, I can't believe a player would do this. It's like, have you ever talked to a player about how he would do something? It's like, and hearing your guys' perspective on things, it helps. It's like getting the lens focused a little bit more on a better understanding, seeing a clearer picture. And it's just so much fun. Like I'm all for Tom Brady going out there and doing it. I love actually more when, instead of the broadcast, I love it when you guys go to coach, whether it's like high school, college football, because then you guys are sharing the knowledge you guys really learned where you can really, help more kids out more than just, commentating a football game. It's so fun to hear their insights.
Well, I find it very intriguing once the player decides that he's going to tell the truth. And I remember Bill Polian, Polian's first year on TV, he still thought he might get a job. So he wasn't criticizing anybody. He wasn't.
That's a good point.
Putting anybody down. He was right down the middle. Everybody's the greatest guy in the world. Everybody, every GM was great. And all of a sudden he sort of crossed that Rubicon where he realized I'm never going to be a GM again. And he just started telling it the way it was. This is what happened in the draft room. This is what happened in the trade room. And all of a sudden, then he became very watchable. So if Brady,
that's a great point.
Yeah, if Brady's really going to tell it the way it is, then it's going to be fun to watch.
What about the issues with him being?
So you're telling me I can't keep it real, even though I want to be a head coach one day at the collegiate level. I can't keep it real because people are going to be upset. I gotta keep it real. I gotta tell people why they doing the things that they shouldn't be doing. Like today, Carolina in some of the protection calls doesn't help Bryce Young. It just doesn't. I got nothing against the coach. I don't know too much about him, but I do know this. I know the plays that I've seen. You're not helping Bryce. You're not helping him. It's your job to help him as a coach. And that's just those 3 plays I can say that happened. They're terrible play calls. Now, I don't know what's going on. Somebody could have missed the assignment, but the way it looked, it doesn't look like anybody was missing the assignment. That's a coaching thing. Look at Denver defense right now. Look at that.
I'm telling you right,
on the ground.
I'm telling you right now, this could be a soccer game. And so speaking of which, so it's going to be a soccer game. It's going to be a field goal game.
What'd I say Friday?
That's what you did.
41 and under. I took the under. 41 and a half?
Yeah.
How do you spread it out? How do you get the defense on their heels? Because right now the defense is winning the game, CJ. You got to run the ball?
Well, you got to run the ball. There's also screens. Like the screen game is a part of the run game, whether it's screen game to the receivers, whether it's screen game to the running backs. The screen game is also a part of the run game. Also, quick game. There's nothing wrong. Now, the problem with the NFL, most teams, right? Obviously, when you got Patrick Mahomes, you don't have to do that, right? But the problem with the NFL, no one goes under center and throws quick game anymore, right? Gives you that thing where you can be under center and throw quick game. Like you saw the Texans do a little bit of it today, right? When you have defenses that like to be aggressive, especially week 1, where everybody's healthy and everybody looks faster than what they usually look when week 1 before they get to week 10. You got to get under center. You got to throw some quick game. Got to get the ball out of the quarterback hands fast, right, to slow down that D-line. Got to run the ball. You got to play with the D-line so they're not just pinning their heels back.
All right, so 7:02 left in the first, 3-0 in the soccer game in Seattle. 0-0 in the soccer game in Los Angeles.
Peter, you could sign me to $1 million 1-hour contract. I'll fly out to Denver and finish this off.
You got one kick in you? One? They just need one. You got one in you?
It wouldn't be pretty.
How far could you still kick one if we needed you right now? What would be the length?
I could kick any of your asses, but on top of that,
what was the longest kick in practice or in the game?
55, probably. But no, they got legs now. It's just not even close. What I did in college was I could spin the ball so it didn't go end over end. It went sideways, and it was hard to catch. And the punters and the kickers all should learn to do that. If you got a 45-yard pooch punt, spin the thing so it's hard to catch. And do the thing on kickoffs. We did the same thing. They couldn't handle the ball. If it spins sideways, which you can do, do it.
I never heard of that.
Can you do that off the kickoff with like on the
Yeah,
TV?
yeah. Yes,
the Aussie put that goes like this end over end, and they just do this.
I could kick it off the kickoff.
You said me you could spin it this way.
This way, yep. And they would fumble that stuff all the time, and the punters and the kickers need to learn to do that. I did that,
especially with the dynamic kickoff. I feel like that would be a distinct advantage.
You bing, yep, exactly. Right. Drop it right inside the 10-yard line in one of the corners, and spin the ball, whether it's a punt or a kick, and make it hard to catch.
Speaking of the dynamic kickoff, obviously, Pete, you had the best kickoff returner as your client, and Josh Cribbs. How much would he love these new kickoff rules? He would have been in the Hall of Fame way long ago with these rules.
He was a running back returning kicks, so he would love the contact. He would love the one-on-one blocking, all that stuff.
Baker just threw a nice ball, and my man McMillan dropped it. And that would have been a touchdown if he catches it. It's a good ball by Baker. I'm curious to see what these rookie quarterbacks do. I mean, Caleb Williams was 13 for 29 for 93 yards. And I lose the pick'em game. So yes, I'm upset.
Well, right now, but now you have Jaden Daniels. We got Bo Nix. So it's right now. It's a toss up. Caleb really didn't dominate today. They won though.
Yeah, that's what helps.
And it'll be interesting with Deshaun Watson.
Oh, he missed the hole.
The albatross of a contract. I hear it as the Broncos have the ball 1st and 10.
He just missed a hole. It's a big hole on the left. He just missed it, right? Javonte doesn't miss too many of those, but the big hole on the left, he missed that there. You make that cut there, man, you got a bigger run than a gain of 4.
So what on an outside zone like that, what are you looking for?
So you look at the end of the man in the line of scrimmage, right?
I can't really do that right now because I'm looking at Sean Payton's sunglasses.
But you can look at the DN in the line of scrimmage. The DN tells you where to go, right? DN goes out, you go in. He goes in, you go out. If there's a 3 technique there, which is a guy on the outside shoulder of the guard's next to the center, then your eyes move to the inside of him. So you go from the DN to the guard to make sure you make the right cut. And Javonte just missed that cut there. That could have been humongous. Interesting.
But how important is patience on the outside zone?
So patience in all run plays are important. And people think patience is like you need to be like Le'Veon Bell. And if you can be Le'Veon Bell, that's awesome. That's not the patience I'm talking about. Your tempo to how you're getting the ball, right? Your steps, actually taking your steps in a patient way before you get the ball, right? Sometimes you have to speed those steps up because what's going on in front of you. Sometimes you have to slow those steps down, right, before you even actually get the ball. What I try to tell my running backs when I was coaching them, right, is everything is moving and happening before you even touch the ball. So understand that the tempo that you have has to time on what's going on because everybody's moving and engaging, right, before you even actually touch the ball.
We got a big drop against the Broncos on a 34.
Yeah, crazy drop right there by I don't even know who 84 is, but you got to catch that
Little
ball.
John Humphrey. They just elevated him today.
That's Little John?
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah, Little John, we love you. We do love you. We know you, but you got to catch the ball.
Hey, what's the most important thing for a possession receiver to do?
Catch the ball, because that's all they're getting. They ain't getting no speed. They just got to catch the rock.
All right, so the soccer game continues in Seattle. Soccer game continues in Los Angeles. It's West Coast Soccer Day. All right, so let's get back to Notre Dame, though. How can Notre Dame right the ship? We're on a commercial here for the Broncos.
For sure they can. No, you never bet against them in South Bend. You're going to play there. They got the advantage every time. And then there's nothing else to do in South Bend. Then that college ball, it's important. It is.
Except for lose to Northern Illinois.
Yeah, but Northern Illinois, you lose.
They still got to play USC. They still got to play Stanford, which Stanford's going to be better this year.
Don't you think, though? I mean, how does the coach? Well, obviously they had meetings today. They had film today. I mean, do you just not even go over the film? Do you sit
actually they didn't. A lot of I would do that as a head coach. A lot of these coaches take Sunday off, and they go into Monday with the film.
It could be COVID. You never know. You know what I mean? That's a one-off.
You don't burn the film. You definitely got to watch the tape. You got to figure out why do my 4-star, 5-star athletes at a great program like at Notre Dame lose to the 2-star, 3-star, 1-star athletes at a program like Northern Illinois. I have no disrespect to Northern Illinois. Obviously, the head coach played at Northern Illinois as a running back, so obviously that's dope. But like for Notre Dame to lose that game is in the way they lost the game, like completely dominated it couldn't stop the run. They were completely dominated in the run game. And for Marcus Freeman to be a defensive-minded coach, that will be a concerning for me as an athletic director.
You're totally right. And when you're Notre Dame, every game you play, if you lose, you made their season.
That is true.
That's all. And so Northern Illinois, Notre Dame could have been sick. I'm from that area, and I just, you never know. Yeah.
What was the bigger upset, this game with Notre Dame and Northern Illinois, or when App State went into the Big House and beat Michigan?
They're about the same. I think Notre Dame probably, because I think Michigan was probably ranked 7 at the time.
That's
Notre
good.
Dame was just ranked 5.
Good analogy. Yeah.
But they're about the same, but they probably will give it to Notre Dame because they're actually a top 5 team in the country.
So I got a lot of friends in Ohio. So that year, then for Halloween, all these Buckeye fans were wearing App State gear going around trick or treating.
That is awesome. See, that's why you love college football in college towns, because that type of stuff happens.
But I think it was, a little bit different too is now with all the games on TV. I don't think everybody will say they watched App State beat Michigan. I don't think anybody actually did.
Yeah, they see the last 2 minutes for sure. I know I did. I didn't watch the whole game.
Right.
I definitely seen the last 2 minutes though when it got close.
But I guarantee you, everybody was watching Notre Dame. I think in the first half, everybody was like, "Oh, this is just gonna be a blowout. It's gonna happen." And all of a sudden, it just kept going and going and going. And I think the ratings were probably pretty good because people do love a good upset.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. When I was doing the same thing, kind of just checking the scores of that game, Northern Illinois is up for quite a bit of that game. It wasn't like all of a sudden they just came back in the last minute of the game.
Like I said, they played strong the whole game. When you look at how they were running the football and controlling the line of scrimmage, man, that goes a long way against a team like Notre Dame who probably overlooked it and didn't see it. Jaden Daniels' first 3 plays, man, were just conservative and terrible. Cliff Kingsbury got to do a little bit better on that. Not a big fan of Cliff. See, I can't be honest on here, Pete, but being honest.
Well, it wasn't Arch Schleicher wasn't quarterback at Notre Dame that game, was he?
Well, I don't know how many people understood the reference.
Was he on a Seinfeld episode? Did I miss it?
I played against Art when I was in college.
Really? Are we serious?
Is that how you won? That's how you guys won the game?
Before you were born, you star CJ legend.
But I know who Art is. I didn't know he
was unbelievable. He was unbelievable. Yeah, he was a senior when I played against him.
Wow.
I don't think he started gambling though until he got to the pros, CJ.
Yeah, that's the Art I know. A little shocking on how good of a player he was. I know how he was on the other end of his life.
Ohio State is at home 53-0, 63-0 homecoming. It was awful.
Ouch.
Yeah. I didn't get the chance to kick, and we didn't get the ball past our own 40-yard line.
Yeah, there's we used to say that to some of our kickers. You're gonna have the day off today.
Well, you got one kick. You get one kickoff.
Yep.
Right. You got the beginning of the kickoff.
I did that one, and some 6'8", 350-pound guy knocked my lights out. That's when I learned you got to get off the field.
Yeah, you just want to be the safety here.
Good D, Broncos. They're gonna call holding on Patrick Surtain. I hate the rules. I hate the rules these days. DBs is so hard. Can't touch them. Can't grab them. Can't run with them. Like, what can you do?
Yeah.
So CJ, when you played your old teams, like when Noah Fant here playing against the Broncos again,
I never got a chance to play against Denver again, and Lord knows I wanted to, because I had a lot in store. Even Peter couldn't save me that day. If I'd have got a chance to play my former team, they would have got especially after the year they cut me and I made it to the Super Bowl. I kind of said some things to Elway that got back, and people, I had some Bronco fans kind of mad at me, but I was like, ha ha, But when you do play some of your old teams, that's a flag, Patrick. You can't do that.
Yeah, they're declining the pass interference call for the roughing the passer.
That's roughing the passer too, and I don't like those. I don't like those new rules either. But back to our old teams. If I got a chance to play the Broncos again, believe me when I tell you, If you get in the end zone a couple times, Bronco fans would have definitely remembered who I was for sure.
Okay, CJ, I got a good one for you.
Okay.
So my older brother played football at Stanford, and he was there when Elway was there. So he and Elway graduated Stanford the same year.
Okay.
And they picked the best athlete of the year in school. Who do you think won?
You're telling me you got to be your brother. No way Elway loses that, right?
My brother won. Yeah.
Yeah. That is.
What was the criteria?
Awesome.
What was the criteria? Who got the most chicks on Saturday night? I mean, what?
It was kind of humor and good looks, like me, you know.
Yeah, we all know Elway does not have the greatest humor. I love you, John, Mr. Elway.
Good steak.
He has the humor when he when the juice is in, for sure.
But Al,
Peter, some Pepsi might be more appropriate, on this show. But no.
I'm trying to get a Coke deal. But Al, you weren't the best athlete in your family, were you?
Sorry?
You weren't the best athlete in your family, though. You're nothing compared to your father.
Nothing. Nope.
Broncos just make a great play right there. 3rd and 7. VJ brings the blitz off the edge, unblocked. This is what I'm talking about with offensive coordinators. Like, you have to know these things are coming and put Geno in a good position, right, where you're not leaving unblocked guys to your quarterback, right, and getting them hit. This is what happened with Bryce Young today. It happened with Geno right there, and it was super effective. Great call by Geno and a terrible call by whoever the offensive coordinator is. Oh, Ryan Grubbs. Ryan Grubbs over there with Seattle. But Seattle is going to kick this long field goal to tie the soccer game 3-3.
Well, why do these kickers think they got guns? That they get the tight jerseys up real high?
So where?
Because we're always the best looking guys on the team. That's why.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, Baker almost threw pick. That just jumped. Baker almost threw pick to, I think that is Washington's first round pick. We're going to do a lot of the Broncos games. Believe it. We're going to do a lot of Bo Nixon. But we are going to watch these other games and talk about these other games as well. Just bear with us.
Quick update there. The Raiders are up 7-3 on the Chargers near the end of the first. The Cowboys are down 3-0 early in the first to the Browns. And the Bucs are up 3-0 halfway through the first against the Commanders.
Cowboys have the ball, though. CeeDee Lamb, little jet sweep. They didn't have jet sweeps back then, did they?
Oh, in nowadays, probably not.
No, they didn't have them back in Al's day. No jet sweeps.
Oh, God, no. Yeah.
Did you ever run like a fake field goal where you had to run it out? Was that like a
No, but the punter when I was at Northwestern was named John Kidd. He played for Buffalo and Miami, and he was an all-state quarterback at Michigan in high school. So some guys have those skills. You're like wow, but no, didn't see that.
They didn't think it was a good risk.
Probably not.
Just
so here with your squib kick or your this would be a good time to do it because they're putting the ball in play. They're going to make the Broncos run it out. Oh, and they don't.
Nah, the Broncos didn't run it out. Hey, I just want to shout out to Mike Evans, man, my draft class homemate, man. He's still doing his thing. He just had a great catch on 3rd and 11. 1,000 yards ever since he's been in the league, right? You got to shout out to those class of 2013.
Hang on a minute.
We're still doing it in the league, man. Year 12, we still doing it.
I'm about to put my Tampa Bucks shirt on. Hold on. I don't want to give you guys a little boner when I take my shirt off here, but
All right, Broncos. This is the third possession for the Denver Broncos.
With this crew, wouldn't be a little one.
Underneath.
Here you go. Yeah, you just put it right on over that.
Oh, yeah.
There you go, King.
there you go.
So just to feel some of our viewers in that's watching the Broncos game with us, there's a lot of getting Bo out of the pocket and moving Bo to make the reads, right? Cut the field in half and make the reads as simpler and as easy as possible as a young quarterback. So he's just not sitting there dropping back where the Seahawks can pin back and Mike McDonald can do all some of the exotic stuff that he liked to do that he did in Baltimore. So Sean's actually calling a solid game right now, but he got to find a way to push the ball down the field. Can't throw it underneath all day.
So when they talk about single reads, giving a quarterback a single read, what does that mean?
So let's say you got high, low, right? Someone's low, another one's high. Read the corner. Corner stay on the low guy, throw it high. Corner goes deep, throw it low, right? Try to keep it as easy as possible. You also have those vision reads too. So we roll out and we cut off half side of the field, and you're looking at number one. Number one's not there. Number two is not there. Get ready to look at the spot where number three is coming into your vision because we're cutting off half the field. So you have single reads and vision reads when you usually cut off the side of the field like that.
So even though we're sending 4 or 5 guys out, Sean's saying you're throwing the ball to 14.
Or you're throwing the ball to 14, and
or you're checking
or
it down.
whoever's above 14, yep, to the check down. Kind of like what you see right there. There's another rollout on 3rd and 3, right? He has an option, right, to throw the hitch. The hitch is covered, right? You see him look his eyes up if they show the replay. I don't know if they do, but you'll see him that he looks his eyes up, right? So this is perfect, right? He has a shot to throw it underneath, right? Then you see him looks his eyes up. That doesn't look good. Now Bo can go use his athleticism to go get the first down, right? This is understanding, right? And you see it. You understand it, you see it, and it all works out. Now, bringing the blitz on the other side helps with that too. But, Bo's playing well. I mean, if you protect the ball, right, no turnovers, right? No turnovers. I mean, we saw that hurt Colorado, right, having turnovers. I'm talking about the CU Buffs now, having turnovers, right? No turnovers go a long way into winning football games. Did they just say that's 4th and 1 because he was diving? Diving is not a slot. Oh, he was short.
His knee hit. Yeah.
That's terrible.
All right, so what do you do here? What are we doing? We going for it?
No, I think you punt. Gino and them ain't done nothing special.
Oh,
Go for it here.
He definitely got the first. The replay.
Yeah, because it's not a slide. It's not a slide. But
looks like he got the first by about 2 yards.
It's a game of inches. He's short. Pull out the index card.
1.
You know your husband's coach? Go for it. Come on.
If you're on Madden, you'd go for it. You know it, CJ.
It's Madden, though. Yeah, I'm not
For
really.
sure
The guy on the other side of the sticks ain't as good as me.
For sure, though. You're good. All right, so CJ, what's the call for? We're trying to draw him off sides. What's the call? What's the audible? 0-0 or
we probably would have win. In Peyton's system, we probably would have went Trey Wright ice cream, alert hammer, right? Obviously on the alert. So Peyton would have went up there and went through our regular cadence, right? So blue 20 said hut. Re-mic somebody, re-mic to 27. Omaha said hut. They didn't move again. He probably would have re-mic'd it again. Nah, easy. Re-mic to 45. Hurry, said hut. He would have done some things to try to get him off. Then we get them relaxed. They don't move. Then you say apple, which that is our alert. And then he would have said Omaha said hut, and we would have been running the ball for a first down. But usually when you do all those huts and you re-micing and huts, you get the D-line to relax like nothing's going. Then you alert. So they think that's another dummy, but that's actually the call to go.
All right, so if Apple's alive calling, you don't hear Apple.
We just don't move.
You're just not moving, and we're going to take the 5-yard penalty and punt it.
Yeah.
But if Peyton, then it's on the quarterback.
Yeah, it's on the quarterback, at least in that position, to do it. Now, Kubiak had a 6-count quarterback sneak. It is awesome. So, forgot the formation, but come up, you'll say, said hut, right? Tight end steps off the ball, move the Z on the ball, move to the other side. Quarterback again, hut. So that's 3 huts. Right now, the fullback will go in motion, right? Hut, right? That's 5 huts. Now I'm motioning out of the backfield, and then the last hut is a quarterback sneak. It's so many ways that these coaches get creative to make the defense think, oh, they're not going for it. Oh, they are going for it. So
but at the end of the day, though, it's on the quarterback to call that last audible, the Apple audible.
Yeah, it's on the quarterback to make it happen.
Is a rookie quarterback going to take the risk?
I don't think so. But they challenged it and got the first down. So they respotted the ball, gave the first down because it's not a slide. So they shouldn't count it. Slides, right? Quarterback dives forward, you can hit him. But when he slides with his feet first, that's where you got to count where the slide was going. You couldn't touch him. So, our NFL refs, I know how people feel about the refs. The refs are always cheating for the Chiefs. They're always cheating for this team. The refs got a hard job. Some of the fans do not understand that we see the refs a lot during training camp, and we ask a lot of questions, and they got to see a lot of things. They have a very hard, difficult job.
Al, that's someone politicking for a future head coaching job right there, if you ever heard it.
I'm still looking for the Super Bowl ring on CJ's hand. I don't see it.
Nah, not here. It's in the safety deposit. I'll bring it on the show one day, though. Bo, you can't do that. Oh, he's open. Bo can't overthrow. Ooh, he had him.
All right, so this was gun flex right nasty, right?
I'll have to see the formation again.
Yeah, this is I got the play up right here. This was gun flex right nasty, 22 paint Ole X basic right here.
Look at their 22 paint Ole X basic. Oh my goodness, that was the play, right?
I'm telling you, I got the play up.
Formation, 22 with the protection, right? Got the basic by the X, which is a deep 10-yard dig, square cut dig. Don't want you to roll it in, right? We don't want you to lose, right? Got the Ole, which is the high low. So it's a high low, right? Sit high.
All right, so again, we're going gun flex right there. We got gun flex
right there for 9. Good RPO right there for 9 for Denver right there.
Peter was a professional lacrosse player for the Denver Gunfighters or something, if I remember right. He was a star. This guy was a star lacrosse player.
Denver Rifles right here.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I didn't see that.
Yeah, Denver Rifles.
3rd and 1, Peter. We got to get the first down here.
Al, in case you're wondering, I won my church league championship basketball league one year. Just in case, that's my athletic prowess right there.
Oh, you beat me by a mile.
So.
No, we were the Rifles. We walked into the theme from Gunsmoke onto the field.
Good play call.
I don't think
great.
You can't do that now, though.
Awesome.
Great play call by Sean. There's it right there, though. They go hard count, relax the defense. Good play call. Gives us some money. All right. Good play. All right. Go hard count right there. Relax the defense. Right. One of those huts is a live call. After that 3rd or 4th hut, the call is live. Right. Makes the toss. Pick up 5 for a first down on 3rd and 1. It's a good play call by Sean. 3-3 at the end of the first quarter of that Bronco game. Cowboys are up 7-3. Just to let you guys know, I didn't see who scored. All right. I already said the Cowboys are going to lose. I'm probably the only one in my pick'ems who picked the Cleveland Browns. So I hope Stavansky and Schwartz over there.
There's a TD pass to Brandon Cooks.
I love BC. Another 2013 class, right? First round pick to the New Orleans Saints. Shout out to actually, I think he was 2014. But shout out to B. Cooks. Shout out to B. Cooks.
So Greg wants to know, did hear Peter and Al played lacrosse together? Is that the connection?
Well, that's not really accurate. Al played and I carried the bags.
No.
So that's more accurate than
Peter was a professional lacrosse player, so yeah. No, he was a stud, and always was.
My agent makes $1 billion deals, and he plays hockey and lacrosse at a very high level. I've seen it personally.
No, I'm sitting here with
I've seen all 3 personally.
I'm sitting here with a legendary NFL player and a legendary sports agent, and that's I don't know why I'm here. I just kicked some shit.
I don't know why I'm here.
You're a legend, dude.
Does anybody know why we're here? Does anybody really know why we're here?
That sounds like a philosophical question, Peter.
I'm still working to try to get my Coca-Cola product placement deal.
Right.
Pretty sure Coke will want the original Coke first marketed. Then they'll give you all the special Cokes. You can't start with the special Coke to get the original Coke. Well, while we're on commercial, I will say this. Jaden Daniels is using his legs really, really well and finding a way to drive Washington down the field using his legs. That's one thing that I was concerned about him coming out, because if you saw some of the LSU tape, he will take some shots, man. He will take some shots. Pete, I know you've seen him when you saw some LSU tape on him. He's definitely a dynamic player and definitely can throw and run, but he will take some shots. I'm glad he's getting out of bounds here, because in LSU, he would have tried to run this dude over.
Well, no, that's the issue with him. It's not the talent. It's can he do this for 17 weeks?
Yep.
Yeah.
Small frame, too. Luke McCaffrey with the first catch. Broncos is back. 1st and 10. We're back in the Broncos game. Coming out. Nice little 21 personnel. Old school football. Good hole. Big hole.
Give me a charger.
Oh, he fumbled. Is that the rookie running back from Notre Dame that just put the ball on the turf? Yes, it is. I do not know how to pronounce his name, but you can't put the ball on the turf. And I will say this. So that's one thing different in running backs. Running backs in college are not used to putting two hands on the ball because a lot of college coaches don't teach punch the ball like they do in the NFL. And a lot of rookie running backs find that fast. Like even on that punch out there, he still has the ball in one hand in traffic. Dude, this is the National Football League. They are taught to go for the ball. You're not playing Northern Illinois when you're at Notre Dame. They're not taught not to go for the ball. So you'll see a lot of rookie running backs who struggle with ball carrying just because they don't know how to handle the ball in traffic, because when you see them on tape, they just carry with one hand the whole time. Shout out to Eric Studesville, who taught me that a long time ago.
All right, so Broncos are going to try to run the ball here.
Well, they had a big run on first play fumble, but they got the recovery. That just had a 4-yard run by Javonte. I think they're going to put the rookie back in because he had a big run. I think he's going to learn his lessons. They're going to tell him to cover the ball up with 2, and that'll help him. Actually, they got the young undrafted rookie in. Shout out to the undrafted rookie guys. I can't wait till our guy gets on so I can ask him how I went undrafted.
No, I think Coach Payton's doing a great job. You know, he's naturally aggressive, and clearly on his play sheet says, don't be aggressive, be passive, be conservative, in big letters. And he's doing a great job of that right now. There's another run, little outside zones to the left. First down.
When's there going to be a Greg Dulcich spotting? Like, I want him to do well. Like, I think we've struggled at tight end. I want to see I want them to get the ball to Greg Dulcich.
Tight ends would be best friends. I think they'll find a way. I mean, I think the game plan will look a lot different if Denver was at home. Playing in this hostile environment, I mean, they're running the ball really effectively, right? A lot of plays right there is like that play right there, just a little get it out to the receiver, let your other 2 receivers block. A lot of RPOs, a lot of get the ball out of Bo hand. We're methodically going to move down the field until we can settle this crowd down and settle in the game. But obviously, you know, you just saw on the screen they're putting right here about the Broncos O-line and how much money they put into them. If you're going to put the money into them, you got to run the ball behind them.
Well, I'm just telling you right now, it's going to be a very, very methodical game.
I'm definitely taking the 41 under, though, for sure. 41 and a half. I would have took the under. Should have bet it. I can bet now I'm out of the league. Oh, whoo, he got that off just in time. Woo.
All right.
See, I'm pretty sure Bo not used to that. He was on his back. And that's what I'm saying. The D-line is just way faster than they are at the collegiate level. They're way faster in the NFL. And right? I mean, he didn't have that clock. He got that ball off just in time. I thought he held it a little too long. But now it's 3rd and 9, and this is why you draft Bo as the number 12 pick. That's what you asked, right? Sean is saying, look, we need to run the ball, find a way to establish the run, keep the run. But then when we get in these 3rd down and I need you to make a throw, Bo, this is why we drafted you. I need you to make 1 or 2 throws.
Right, but so right here is Sean saying don't take a risk, check it down. Let's see if we get the first.
And he took a risk anyway and threw the interception.
That's what I was just saying.
Throws the interception. Yeah, but look, Bo's getting pressure and Bo's throwing off his back foot. Once again, the D-line's in there again. Now, you're right. Sean definitely probably should have. He probably did in the headsets before the clock goes off at 15 seconds. Hey, man, look, if you ain't got it, throw it away. We have 3 right here. We have 3 right here to tie the game. That's just tough. Obviously, Bo gets hits as he lets it go. Obviously, he throws it one-on-one up. He trusts his receiver, Corton Sutherland, who's obviously a good receiver, but not good. Not good. And I said to tie the game to take the lead. I apologize, but not good right there from Bo Nix. All right, letting it go really early.
I feel like I'm watching a Northwestern Notre Dame game.
But this is exactly what I was just trying to say before the play happened. Don't take the risk. If it's not there, check it down. Let's get our 3 points and get out of here.
Yeah. Dallas is doing a good job moving the ball methodically right now. I mean, CeeDee Lamb is unguardable right now. Like, they can't guard him. They also don't have Denzel Ward on him for whatever reason.
66.
Right now, they can't guard him.
We're to break here. 66 total yards for the Broncos, 38 for the Seahawks.
Yeah, it's looking like one of those defensive games. It's looking like one of those defensive games. If you are a defensive guy, you should love this game. If you like high power scoring offense, I will advise you to go watch another game. Unless you're a Bronco fan. And Dak almost pro pick. Denzel Ward jumps on that. I just said that. Why is Denzel Ward not guarding CeeDee Lamb? One time he guards CeeDee Lamb, he almost takes it the other way. 3rd and 5 for the Cowboys right now as we still sitting on commercial during the Broncos game. I don't know what the Raiders is looking like.
7-3 still Raiders with about 9 minutes left in the half. And then end of the first there. And your Commanders are down 0-6 to the Bucks.
You know, I know the Cowboys just paid Dak Prescott, but to me,
why did they do that, Pete?
I don't get it. I just don't.
Okay, I just want to make sure I ain't tripping.
What was he like? His numbers seem to be up there. It's like, why wouldn't you pay him? Like, what's a better option than for the Cowboys quarterback than Dak Prescott? Like, isn't it like how good can your replacement be?
Rebuild
at $60 million.
Yeah.
Think about this: if you like Pittsburgh right now, they played with Fields.
Justin
Russell
Fields
and Fields. They got them both.
Right, their quarterback room's at $5 million. So instead of $55 million, they could put $50 million more at left tackle, right guard, receiver, and unless you
have Trey Lance play quarterback.
But you rebuild your team. So like a team like Mike Tomlin, right? Now, obviously Mike McCarthy's different, offensive minded, but a team like Mike Tomlin, you can do that because you know you're going to run the ball and you know you're going to play great defense, right? You rebuild your team when you do those things when you're looking for a quarterback at that time.
But the Vikings have put all the money elsewhere. I get it. If you have Mahomes, go for it. But if you don't have Mahomes, if you don't have Josh Allen, if you don't have a dude, I think you're better off getting a good.
Safety, Broncos. Is that a safety holding in the end zone?
It could be.
Holding number 75. It is. But they didn't say it was in the end zone. They're walking off the field like it is.
But he hasn't clapped. There he goes.
There it goes. And the Broncos, and now we have a baseball game, ladies and gentlemen.
We've upgraded from soccer.
How do you hold right there? That's just terrible. Yep, that's holding in the end zone.
All right, that's because that's the guy. Is that the replacement for Fant? No, that's the guard.
Nah, that's the guard. He just didn't get his steps. Didn't move. But once again, that's play calling, right? You know that we just saw this. I just said this literally before the show, right? It's now obviously it's not 5 in the box here, but you're on your own 2-yard line. If you're not going to take a shot down the field to cause the pass interference or make it happen, line up and run the damn football. Excuse my language. No, we're not supposed to cuss on this, but run the darn football and get you some room, right? Use hard count down here. You can't go no further backwards than what you are. So that's just, hey man, sometimes I ask myself, why am I not calling plays, right?
Well, but also why
there's some guy out there making the decision who think I can't do it.
But why are we rolling out? Why are we rolling out at the goal line to your
that too to your offhand? Like, come on, man. Like I'm not sitting here making this up. But like I said, man, I'm chilling. So I didn't know this. There is no more punt after the safety. It's the kickoff rules after the safety.
Really?
Yeah, that's good to see because I did not know that.
We gotta get the real athletes, the punters and the kickers out there and get the rest of you guys out of the way.
Well, now the punter really don't have a job. He can't even punt after the safety no
more. So they kicked it off from the 20, but the kicker boomed it, and still the ball goes to 35. Big deal.
So if you're watching a Bronco game and you just saw the replay, you just saw Bo Nix do 3 hitches. Hitches is like hitch, hitch, hitch. Him doing 3 hitches, he's holding the ball too long. The ball should have been going when those things happen. So you don't want to have that. Just like right now, hitch, hitch, take off, right? There has to be a clock. Like those things have to be talked about. Obviously, you wouldn't even know who I learned that from. I learned that from Mr. Peyton Manning himself, and he don't even run. But he understand when he took too many hitches, he knew he need to get rid of the football. He need to get rid of the football.
So here's the day of an agent. So as we're watching this, I have a player on the Champions Tour. He shoots 7 under today. He moves up from like 30th place to tied for 4th. Wow. Right now, Stuart Sink Yang and Bernard Langer are still on the course. If they could just lose 2 strokes, he can win the championship. He could win the title while sitting in the clubhouse drinking beers watching the Broncos.
Hey, it's a good day.
It's a good day. And he just made a whole boatload of cash, too.
Yeah, he just moved up from 28th to
4th. That's a lot of cash coming your way, Mr. Schaffer. Dinner on you tonight.
There it is. Bo Nix again in trouble. There's your boy Dulcich. We like Dulcich.
Oh yeah.
Once again, you got Cortland Sutton wide open, but because of the pressure, that D-line, man, I'm not lying to you, Rob, because of that pressure, he can't get the ball to Cortland. Cortland open. This is a good play. This is a good play call, right?
Hey,
Cortland's right there.
Hey, CJ, I got to admit, like, I always thought I was a decent athlete. Like, I'm a big guy. I'm 6'3". So I was working an event. It was
You got to catch that.
It was the Seattle-Pittsburgh Super Bowl in Detroit. I think it was Super Bowl 40, maybe.
Super Bowl 40, extra large. Yep.
And so I'm there. We're there in the at the Hyatt where the Seahawks are staying, and I literally run into Sean Alexander in the lobby, and then you see the whole Seahawks team walk by. You see like Grant Winstrom walk by. I'm like, I don't know how any human can actually stop him from where he wants to go.
Huge.
And you see these guys, and it's a different world. Like us, us church league basketball guys think we're studs, and all of a sudden you see these guys in the pros. Like, it's a different world out there.
Muff the punt. Broncos has a shot. Broncos get the ball on the muff punt. Terrible. Like we said, turnovers, right? Football is a lot sloppy week 1. But now the Broncos are in the position, up 5-3, back in the red zone to score, right? I'm pretty sure 33 is going to have a long conversation with Mike McDonald. Let me tell you how cold the business is. 2015, the snow game. Edelman's out. My boy Chris Harper, who I played with at the University of Cal, he's the punt returner. He muffs the punt. I score like 2 plays later. Obviously, we know how that game ended. I have the game-winning touchdown in overtime. And Monday, I get the waiver wire from Pete, and Chris Harper is cut. That is how crucial this business is. I'm not saying my man's 33 is going to get cut, but when you give up game changing plays like they just did right there, your job is definitely in jeopardy every week. Now we got a false start by the Broncos. What are we doing?
CJ, do you ever get called in the office and get put on a PIP? Like, hey, we got to do a performance improvement plan here, CJ.
No.
Like, that's in the corporate world before you get fired. It's like, hey, we're going to put a plan together before we fire you, so we have our documentation together before.
If things were going wrong, I got a call from Peter about what I need to fix before he got there. That was good about my agent. Now, I got one. I don't know if Pete want me to tell this story. I got one like disapproval of Mr. Schaffer.
No. We're stopping that right now. Don't talk about my boyfriend like that.
It was the year I got cut. We clearly thought that we were going to get released. I'm pretty sure Pete had a Niner thing ready for me before Jared McKinnon took it. Can you imagine if I was with the Niners in that time? Holy crap! But anyway, right? Pete has this long. Now that Elway's not a GM and I'm not a player, so I think that's why we can tell the story. Pete has this long conversation with John Elway, and I'm sitting there like, they're going to talk about me. And they didn't talk about me one time. I was kind of upset. Pete told me why after. I won't say that part. But I was kind of upset. And then 2 months later, I'm getting cut.
Now, the one thing in the NFL is you don't want to hear, hey, coach wants to see you bring your iPad.
At all.
There are no pips. There are no pips. Like, it's just bring your iPad. There's no performance-enhancing plans. All right,
so this will be the second turnover in a row that the Broncos might not capitalize on with 6. It's 3rd and goal. Obviously, they had a chance to score because it's 3rd and goal. But if you want to put a team away, right, you got to put the ball in the end zone when you have short field, right? Defense give them a short field earlier in the game. They end up getting 3. Special teams give them a short field right now. And obviously, we'll see. But
let's get into Bo Nix's head. Last time in this situation, he throws a pick.
Yeah, this time in the situation, he knows he has 3. Take the 3.
He
almost threw another one.
Yeah,
he almost threw another one.
Not a quick learner.
Oh shit!
He almost threw another one, but at least they're gonna take 3. And this is an 8-3. Now this is really a baseball game. It's going to be an 8-3 football game. When the last time have you seen?
It's like 8-3. Someone playing the Rockies. They're up 8-3.
Imagine your squares and you have the numbers 8-3. You're jumping up and down right now. First, when you picked them, you were mad, and now you're jumping up and down because you're definitely going. How do you have 8-3 in a football game?
Right.
I used to have a mustache too when I kicked. Just let you guys know.
But here's the deal, though. It's 8-3, but the Broncos have had the ball in the red zone 3 times and a sack, and they have 8 points.
And they have 8 points, right? So Seahawks are saying, hey, we're okay, right? Broncos, we should be getting blown out right now. Broncos
It could be 23-0. It could be 23.
Broncos are saying we got to find a way to put the ball in the end zone. We cannot have opportunities like this and miss them, especially in the National Football League. It just can't happen.
Is this why you don't start your wide receivers with a rookie quarterback in your fantasy league?
Oh, and I think Dak just got destroyed right there while we're on commercial with the Broncos. Myles Garrett. Pete, tell me what you think about Myles Garrett. Obviously, I know you tried to get him. He chose to go elsewhere.
He's a dude.
He can play.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just forced the sack fumble on Dak Prescott right there. I like Myles Garrett a lot, man. Myles Garrett is a hell of a player.
You know, 6'5", 275, runs like he's 235.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I got to play with some great ones, right? I got to play with DeMarcus. I got to play with Von Miller. I got to play with Aaron Donald. I got to play with some really good pass rushers in my lifetime.
Hall of Famer, dude.
All three of them.
Hey, your boy Evans looks like he got a TD catch according to Greg here.
Yeah, I seen it. I didn't announce it because the Bronco game was going on right now.
Yep.
But I did see it. Pete, how still close are you with Adam Peters, the guy who kind of founded me, and now he's a long-term scout, but now he's the GM of the Washington Commanders? How are you proud of a guy like that? Are you proud of a guy who kind of grows in the game and he's a GM now, and he's found a lot of good players, me being one of them. Found a lot of good players as undrafted kids.
Adam's a great guy. You know, started with the Patriots and came here to Denver. Elway loved him. He was sort of Elway's top guy with Matt Russell. But when the Niners came calling, he went from being number 2 to number 1, so he had to go.
Yeah, and he did a lot of good job of building those teams over there, helping Lynch build those Niner teams, and now he's trying to do the same thing over there. And Jay Daniels can run, boy. Now he's doing the same over there in Washington.
Well, I'll tell you something. The one thing I know, everybody's talking about gambling. I know this: that 16 teams that thought they were going to win today are going to lose.
and I picked about 10 of them wrong, bro.
I don't know what my record will be, but it ain't too hot right now. Like I said, I lost the Bears game. Wow, terrible. Shouldn't have lost that game.
I should have won the Texans game, but they screwed up at halftime on the field goal. All right, so it's 8-3, halfway through the second quarter. Sean's got to be a little frustrated that they're not up by 2 or 3 scores.
100%. I mean, a lot of miscues, right? They're showing it right now, right? CBS is doing their job for us, right? They're doing a lot of miscues of what Seattle has done, but the Broncos have not took advantage of those miscues as far as putting touchdowns on the board, where this game should be 21-0 or 21-3 in somehow, some way, right? 6 points off of turnovers instead of 14 points off of turnovers. That changed the game. So we'll see if the Broncos defense can still stay strong, and hopefully Seattle doesn't find a rhythm here.
Definitely, though, the Broncos defense is right now holding them in this game.
Oh yeah, what's Vance Joseph with his adjustments like to make sure there's nothing? Like, are they trying to just avoid big plays?
No, he's trying to bring in all kinds of different exotic looks. If you watch him right now, they cover 2, but here comes the blitz here. The safety's coming up. They knew it was a run fit. Bring 8 guys in the box. Vance is really good. You were talking earlier about what makes him so good. Very, very smart. Knows the analytics. He's got them figured out. I know for a fact that they studied the University of Washington analytics for this game because that's where the Grubb came from, the offense coordinator for the Seahawks.
Yep.
What are his percentages? What does he do on 1st and 10? What does he do on 2nd? That's the type of detail that they went through in preparation for today because this is his first game in the NFL.
It's amazing the depth. Like CJ, you mentioned some of that on Friday with like the scouting departments for different in how in depth they go and like sign stealing and all that.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, as an inspiring coach, or when I was coaching at Rice, I've had college coaches, some of my colleagues who's never played in NFL, and I will be very detailed in what we do, right? Like Pete's talking about, like there's 1st and 10, there's 2nd and 7+, there's 2nd and 1 and 6, right? There's 3rd and 2 to 3, 3rd and 4 to 6, 3rd and 7 and 10, 3rd and 11+. There's so much about the game, right? There's backed up, right, from the 20 to the 15, backed up to the inside the 5 to the 2, right? There's 1st and goal, which is from the 1 to 2 to 3, but then there's high red, low red, right? The way the NFL, right, breaks down, oh my goodness, what good tackles in the backfield. Broncos defense is rallying. You got to love what VJ's doing. But there's so many different parts of the game that is so detailed that I, right, that when I was trying to give to some of my colleagues at the collegiate level, it was too detailed for them, and they just feel like, you didn't need all that, but you do when you're trying to win games. So what Pete just said about VJ, I'm pretty sure the scouting department had a whole lot of Washington tape up, and even maybe some Alabama tape, because Kellen DeBoer is over there first 2 games of Alabama just to try to find some advantage to make those things easier. That should be delay of game. Can we blow the whistle?
Have you noticed Gino trying to pick on our weak side quarter with Moss?
Yeah, he's attacked him. Well, he threw at Surtain twice and got 2 flags on Pat, but he also threw at Moss 3 times as well, and it ain't been successful. But we said whoever's on the other side of number 2, they're gonna get a lot of balls this year, and they better be ready to play.
Well, it looks like they've got Surtain matched up against Metcalf, and he's following him. Oh yeah,
as they should. As they should. You don't want DJ matched up on the white corner that I got bullied about on social media. And speaking of the white corner, they're gonna Tyler Lockett on the back shoulder on Moss. That's good coverage. This is better offensive play right there. That's great coverage though by the Moss. Right, got to find a way to play through hands. Now, what I am not a fan of, unless you're Champ Bailey or Prime, I don't like how these new age DBs play press coverage and don't put no hands on them like they're that fast. Champ and Prime can get away with it, right? Because they can run with you. If you're going to play press coverage, for me, you better put your hands on the receiver to disrupt that timing.
Thank you.
Touchdown. Not good. Touchdown, Seahawks.
Touchdown.
Right there with Gino running. That's one thing about the blitz. If you bring the blitz and it doesn't get home and it gets picked up, everybody else is in man-to-man behind it. No one has the quarterback. Gino takes off, scores right there. And now I don't know what to call this game. It's going to be 10-8. Now what sport are we playing? Lacrosse?
We've moved into lacrosse. If we can get the face off, the next face off, go and play make it take it. We got a chance.
But you see the blitz there. You see everybody in man-to-man, right? Everybody in man-to-man on the blitz there. Good move by Gino on the run, by the way. But you see everybody on the blitz there. No one has the quarterback when it comes to man-to-man. Some of the good quarterbacks who can use their athletic ability, Gino being one of them. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes will be able to run. They're trying to make it 11-8. We're really playing lacrosse. But you see some of the athletic quarterbacks who sees the man-to-man that can get out of the pocket and make runs. They find a way. So, like those type of blitzes work against the statues like Tom Brady or Peyton Manning, but then obviously they use their arm and their accuracy to get to the ball to the right spot versus man-to-man. So now we have a 9-8 game. And this will be 2 bad golfers that are 9 and 8 over par.
Right. But sounds like my scores after the first hole.
Speaking of, but CJ, going back to that play though, right? Isn't it the nose tackle who, if you know that we're bringing some heat, we're in man-to-man, he's got to have contain. He can't give him a lane.
Well, it depends. Like it depends where the blitz lanes are being allocated. Like DJ's bringing the blitz, so someone has to control the A gap, right? Whether that's the nose tackle or whether that's the 3 technique who's supposed to slant. Someone is supposed to slant to cover that gap, and they did not, and that's why that gap opened, and that's why Gino got a chance to get out.
Chargers just drop a touchdown. Herbert's a good football player. Now, I think he's a guy you can pay.
I think, like I said on Friday on the pregame show, I think the Chargers wasted 5 years of Herbert's career having the. He's just a bad coach. He's a good defensive minded, but he was bad with analytics and a whole bunch of other stuff. Coach Staley. Yeah, you got to catch that. You got to catch that for Herbert. You got to catch that for Herbert, man. That'll help you big time if you catch that for Herbert.
So
3rd and 9 while we're on commercial. 3rd and 9 for the Chargers since we're talking about the division.
Hey, your Commanders are within a score there of the Bucks now.
Yep,
Yeah,
13-7.
And
He just scored. That's why you put the shirt.
Am my mic on or not? Is my mic on?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh.
yeah, you are here with us, Al.
Are we on commercial?
Yeah.
we don't
We're on a
commercial.
commercial for the Broncos game.
Okay, so my dad lived next door for a long time to John Walton, whose brother bought the Broncos a couple of years ago, whatever. Nicest people you ever meet, all of them.
Greg Penner. His name is Greg Penner is the one that bought he married into the Waltons.
Oh yeah, same thing.
No,
I wish I'd have married into the Waltons.
But I say that all the time. The first time
It's not too late, CJ. It's not too late.
Yeah. First
They
time
still hit me. They want me to come around. To be honest, Pete say I should come around a lot more too.
You should be
I
coaching.
kind of like being under. I
You should
kind
be
of like
coaching
being
there,
behind the
CJ.
scenes, though. I like being behind the scenes. I'm not a. I ain't never been a guy who wanted to be in the scenes. I like being behind the scenes when it comes to me. But I'm coming back out. I'm doing this podcast. This is very new for me.
It makes football fun. Listen to you guys, seriously.
So
Well,
6 minutes left in the half. Bo Nix 8 for 15 for 22 yards.
Nice.
Quarterback rating, is it above the O.J. Simpson line or below the O.J. Simpson line?
I'm gonna say it's below.
Quarterback rating of 31.2, just below the O.J. Simpson line.
Oof.
Nobody can run like that.
But you know what? A decent second half and finishing this first half strong. He could catch Caleb Williams.
Well, I think. So there's also other things too, right? Like I think this is the only third drive that they started with some length of field. Obviously, they started their first couple of drives inside the red zone. So even if he threw 2 touchdown passes, he would still have 20-some yards just because where they were.
Yeah.
So I think that. I also think that the play calling too. I mean, Sean's being smart with the play calling, and trying to make it as simple and easy as for Bo as possible while establishing the run. But Sean also know he got to take some opportunities and got to take some chances, right? And Bo got to get his feet settled. And I still think the game with the D linemen are a little too fast for Bo, right? Got the play action right there, one hitch, got to let the ball go. And Bo missed that.
Yeah.
Bo was too late. So you saw the hitch. See, that's what I like to see, right? Something I learned from Peyton, man, as I'm trying to coach and obviously coach quarterbacks because I want to call plays, right? Seeing Bo hit that back foot and then he took that first hitch, you got to let the ball go after that, right? Got to know where you're going with the ball, right? He takes that first hitch, didn't let it go. Now he's sitting, patting his feet. Now he lets it go where it's too late. There's an anticipation. That's one thing I loved about Bryce Young coming out a year ago. His anticipation is awesome. Knowing where the ball needs to go and letting it go before it happens. But obviously right there that didn't happen.
In college, CJ, in college, he's open. In the pros, those windows close much faster.
Windows close fast, and that's why you got to have the anticipation. That's why you got to let it go to the windows and let it go. So here we go. Now the Broncos are finna have a 3rd and 9. And now we got to now Sean has to, or 3rd and 10. And now Sean has to call something and they get the ball down the field.
And they call something conservative right there. Boom.
Well, I mean, yeah. You're still in the game. You're only down 9-8. I can't believe I just said that. I don't think I've ever seen a football score that's 9-8.
I could have hit that field goal. I should have just called that.
So now they're reporting that Calais Campbell. They're reporting that Calais Campbell was also handcuffed today with Tyreek Hill.
Really? He had a sack today?
What?
Yeah.
He had a sack today.
No, they let him go, but it sounded like they say that he was also.
Do the Dolphins police don't like the Dolphins?
I mean, they're not the Hurricanes.
So I'm gonna say this. This is a story no one knows about me.
Miami.
I think Peter might remember it. It's crazy. We played Miami Dolphins just 2014. We played Miami Dolphins at home. I rushed for my career high, 172 and a touchdown. And Ashton Martin was kind enough to let me drive the Ashton Martin to the game, and I'm speeding home, and I get pulled over. And the lady cop, she goes, "What car is this?" And I say, "Well, you can't give me a ticket if you don't know what car it is."
Exactly.
And when she looked at me, she knew who I was. I told her what car it was. We had a great conversation, and she let me go. So maybe the Denver cops liked me. They ain't got the juice, is what I like to say. They needed the juice. I got the juice. Tyreek Hill was voted the #1 player, and he ain't got the juice in Miami. That's crazy.
These situations are probably going to be about one cop.
Oh, facts. So 3rd and 10, they go underneath. Broncos got to find a way to do something and move the football.
But look, they got 2 halfbacks in. They're max protecting.
Yeah, they're protecting. They're protecting, as they should, right? Because like I said, the game is going to – it happened with Caleb Williams today. Like, I don't know if anybody's seen a little bit of the Chicago. It happened with Caleb Williams today that he was moving around. Like, he took one bad sack that was so bad. It was 2nd and 29. But the D-line was so fast in his face. It's new to those guys. Now, Jaden Daniels is getting the same over there in Tampa Bay. Yep. However, what a punt by the Broncos. Love special teams. What a punt. Beautiful punt right there. But the difference between Jaden Daniels and the other 2 quarterbacks we're talking about, Jaden Daniels have legs where he can move really, really fast out of those things. That's a hell of a special team play, right? I like to tell my coaches teams matter because they do. So I don't disrespect special teams, Al, because you guys do matter. It's plays like this, right, where you already got a safety once, and now they're starting inside the 1 again.
Yeah, but here's the deal, though. What happened? 33 should have caught the ball, but he's the one that fumbled the last punt. So he's I'm a little nervous.
If I fumble this one, I might be going home in the middle of the game.
They cut it. They're going to cut
me at halftime.
Home in Miami.
He's going to get that halftime call to come to the coach's office with his iPad.
Right. No, but I'm dead serious. I guarantee you, the punt's going up there. He's supposed to catch the ball. He signals for.
Oh, another safety, Broncos. Oh, did he get out? Did he get out?
I think so.
You got the woman ref. She said right there, throw your hands up. There it goes.
No,
another safety by the Broncos.
Now we're back to a regular score, 10-9.
Once again, right? Ryan Grubbs. I say this in all respect. Ryan Grubbs, college offensive coordinator. Why are we in shotgun on our own 1-yard line trying to establish the run? You need to get pushed. The O-line need to fire off the ball. You're running power on the 1-yard line. No, that's not the call. Get under center, force the center and the guard to make a double team and get pushed. Like, what are we doing?
All right, so
that's a coach talking. That's my coach talking. Obviously, right? We want the Broncos to win, but that is my coach talking there. That is.
So is it about the defense has almost scored more than our offense? So
I was going to say right now it's offense 6, defense 4.
So I'd say it's all special teams at this point,
No.
And it's 10-9. This is an interesting game.
Well, no, special teams matter because you have a special team fumble and then special
teams 1 yard, right? Both special teams got the points. Teams matter.
It's always the best looking ones that make it happen. You know what I mean?
How would you know that?
I don't know. I just heard it.
You read it on a blog somewhere. I'm sure it's true.
All right, so I'll tell you something. Not the high scoring games, the first games are not happening in the second game, the marquee games.
I was actually going to ask you guys about that because they usually say defense is the easier thing to get going quicker in football, and then offense, because it's more complex, takes more time to develop as the season goes on. There are quite a few high scoring games in the early games. Did any of those really surprise you?
Well, no, I think what you're going to see and what happened in the early games is the defenses came out like gangbusters in the first half, and then they got tired because very few of these players have played 75 plays. Some of them didn't play 75 plays the entire preseason.
Okay.
And so all of a sudden now, you're blitzing and you're doing all this stuff. It takes a lot out of you, and all of a sudden you go into halftime, you get an IV, get some electrolytes, whatever, some Coke Zero.
I you know what? I knew a hockey goalie. He would down 2 cans of Coke between each intermission.
Oh yeah, I knew a couple football players would smoke 2 cigarettes at each intermission too.
Wow, I didn't see that. Not on my teams. They wasn't smoking those cigarettes.
Really?
They were smoking though, but not no cigarettes.
You didn't play for the Raiders.
I did for 6 days.
Yes, he did.
For 6 days. You actually made the deal. I actually learned the playbook in 3 days. Doug Martin still finds a way to play. I don't play. We lose or we win. I get a game ball because we win and it's a team thing. And then Gruden brings me in and don't want to cut me, and I get cut. And the next, I'm playing in the Super Bowl that year. Crazy.
Things happen.
I go spend 8 weeks in. Weeks in LA, and I like light it up.
It's a wild ride.
Shit.
Crazy. It was the greatest non-cut of my life.
Oh.
It was like, hey, I remember the call. I don't know where I was. I was in Denver. People was like, we're going to Oakland. We went to Oakland. That didn't work. I go to Tampa Bay. I'm kicking it with CC Sabathia. So I go to Tampa Bay. Right when I land in Tampa Bay, Pete called me and go, where you're at? We're going to put you on a flight to LA. I'm like, damn, I'm going back across the country?
CJ, I want to tell you something. I probably told you this before, though. But Ben Affleck, because you just said CC Sabathia, Ben Affleck told me it's not polite to drop names.
Oh.
I'm just telling you that's what Ben Affleck told me.
Tell Ben we're very sorry about the grief you're going through to say that.
All right, so we got time out here, 10-9, 3rd and 8.
So I would love to see some type of 2-man combination, 3-man combination, right, where it's an easy read for Bo, whether it's in a 2x2 set or a 3x1 set. Right, that's 2 receivers on each side of the formation, or 3x1 set is 3 receivers on one side and 1 receiver on the other side, and some type of high-low concept so Bo can read it easy on this 3rd and 8 where he can get the ball off. Obviously, the Broncos O-line got to give him a little bit more time to protect it, but I would love to see that from Mr. Nix here on this 3rd and 8. They are 2-7 on 3rd downs. You do not want that.
You got it.
And that's good ball. And that's what you want. See? Simple. Simple. All right? Simple. They come around. Bo steps up. Bo has a chance to run. Eyes are on him. And he lets it go. But this is what you're looking for. Right? Keep it simple and easy. Way to climb the pocket. Right? Another thing that college quarterbacks don't get a chance to do. Right? They don't get a chance to climb the pocket because they can really sit in the pocket all day in college at certain schools. Right? So Bo's going to catch on quick.
Think we get another field goal here before halftime?
Have to. I think you get in a 2-minute drill. I think Sean's doing the right call right there by running the ball. Get to 2 minutes, right? At 2 minutes, I'm pretty sure you're going to go to commercial break. That's just my educated guess. That's usually how it goes, which gives you an extra timeout to sit and talk to your quarterback about what's going on during the 2 minutes. That's the good thing about TV games, right? TV games give you that extra long timeout. Like right now, they're going to commercial break. So now we can talk about this whole 2-minute drive and what we need to get done. That's why I love televised games, because you get those reminders.
All right, so right now, what's happening?
Yeah.
Bo's talking to Sean. Does he got the receivers with him, the running backs?
Yeah. So if it was Sean, right? So if it was us, right? We're saying, hey, don't, we've worked on this, right? We know Seattle likes to run these 3 coverages. They usually have a coming out coverage. So hey, coming out, they want to run cover 3 or cover 2. We're gonna call this, right? And then as we get going, right, you're gonna see their top 2 coverages, whether that's cover 3, man-to-man, whatever those coverages is, and that's kind of the plays I'm calling for 2 minutes. If the clock stops or we huddle, running backs, O-linemen, right, watch for the blitz, right, watch for the stunts, right? We know those things are coming, right? We're in the 2-minute mode now, and now that we're in this 2-minute mode, right, and we understand what's coming based on the situation, right, we should be able to go out here and execute and at least put ourselves to go get 3, but obviously we're trying to get 6.
How many plays do they call? Like, do they give them 1 at a time, or they go like, do they have their next, 1 to 3 plays lined up? They're ready to go.
Depends. It's usually 1 at a time, and then we're just going as fast. You can signal it when at home. At home, you can call it out because the crowd should be quiet. On the road, you might give 2, and after those 2, you might have to signal, right? Because it's loud depending on where you're playing at. So that's a good thing about the 2-minute drill. Being the difference between home and away. That's what makes it a little difficult. But Usually, if like I said, if you're at home, it's probably 1, but on the road, it's probably 2, and then after that, you're trying to signal as much as you can.
So, are we in hand signals? We come up the line of scrimmage.
So yeah, if I'm coming up to the line of scrimmage, I'm giving the protection. So like in Sean's offense, it's probably like, hey, 22 or 23, right? Which let the line in the back know what protection they have, and then right, we're gonna stay in 2x2 or in 3x1, and I'm gonna give some type of gang sign hand signals out to the receivers so we can just do our thing.
All right, but I mean, is it like sluggo? Can we go an individual route? Stop and go. What?
So I know
any
like
of that stuff.
I know like individual routes, right? So there's Sigma for us, right? There's the pump, right? There's a shin. I'm pointing at my shin. You guys don't see that, right? There's shock. There's jolt. There's Jose. Oh my goodness, ball almost threw one. Holy crap! We can't do that. Now we can't start the 2-minute drill off doing that.
No way.
We can't start the 2-minute drill doing that.
Hey, here's a Cowboy update to you. Dak threw a TD to your boy Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, I know they're up 14-3. I actually chose the Browns. I'm gonna lose this game probably. That's why he played defense, because he can't catch the ball.
Pete,
3rd and 7. Here we go.
Peter, did you sign Dak? Is that one of your guys?
No, I wish.
He wished.
It sounds
after
like
that payday he got today. Ain't no way Pete would have found a way to Jerry Jones when to let Pete hit him over the head. Somebody else hit him over the head, but not Pete.
Jerry and I are fine.
Now that can't happen. But once again, I think I don't know if that's on Sean. I gotta keep it simple. I gotta keep it the same though, right? We have unblocked guys coming off the edge. How?
But that's on a blitz. Same exact, basically a safety
more,
blitz.
Yeah, that was they brought in more than block, because obviously you saw Javonte go pick up the blitz across. So they brought more than what you can block, right? But there has to be some type of hots. That's what these coordinators these days like. And I don't know, Sean. I've never been in Sean offense, so I don't know if Sean has hots. I would assume he does, but there has to be some type of hots, some type of things that get the ball out quick, right, to deplete the blitz. One thing I like about Mike McCoy used to say, right, and I don't know if that was from Peyton or from him, but Mike McCoy used to say, if teams blitz us, we're gonna make them pay, because when you're blitzing, you have less coverage in the back end. We pick up this blitz, we're going to make you pay. Yep. So it's tough. But now you see the Seahawks get on 2-minute, and now you get the 2-minute defense. But like I said, right, one of our things we talked about in the 2-minute, if the clock stops, right, Bo almost throws a pick, clock stops, here comes the blitz, or here comes stunts. That is exactly what happens. I mean, football hasn't changed in so long.
So Seattle's at home, right? So it's quiet. They could run. They got the whole playbook, right?
They got the whole playbook. They got 2 timeouts. Geno can be loud. They can take times. Geno sack. Gotta love the Broncos defense right now. O-lines are terrible across the league. Excuse my French when I say terrible. Obviously, the Chiefs O-line was solid, and the Eagles O-line on Friday night, they were solid, but O-lines are struggling right now. Peter, are big kids just don't want to play football no more? Like, what's going on? Like, look at the physicality right there. Like, he just bullied 78. I'm not a Seahawks fan, but I don't want to, like, at the end of the day, you're a grown man. Can't be getting bullied, man.
I think 78 was a first-round draft choice, too.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
That's
a good negative play, right? Call timeout right there. That's what the Broncos did. Get a chance to get the ball back. You get another negative play here. You definitely call timeout. If I was a Seahawks, though, I would try to get out of the half.
Because
find a way to run the ball.
Right now, Vance Joseph is the MVP of the Broncos.
Oh, get him in.
Yes, he is.
There we go.
Yes, he is.
Can we get a third safety?
Third.
Can we get a third safety?
You did.
Yep.
For sure.
The defense.
Nah, forward progress. Forward progress.
Third safety would put the defense up or tie the defense.
He's had forward progress though. It shouldn't be a safety. He got forward progress. He caught it right there. Yeah, he caught it on the. He caught it on the 2.
But now you got third and whatever from the 1 foot line.
But once again, right, you're backed up. I'm just gonna say this as a coordinator, me as a play caller. So I can't wait till your GM friend gets on. Hopefully, he finds a way to give me an offensive coordinator job. Me as a play caller, I'm not being in shotgun. First of all, I already had 2 safeties being in shotgun. So that's one. Second of all, I'm not finna be in shotgun backed up in my own area where I already had 2 safeties to give my chance another one. It just doesn't make sense.
All right.
And these dudes get paid way too much money. Pete, I'm a hell of a play caller, Pete. I'm telling you that right now. I'm a hell of a play caller.
I'm pretty good too because I coach basketball, and every basketball coach thinks they can run an offense in a football team too.
I actually understand football. I understand football like most quarterbacks.
Hey, we got Hugh Jackson in the green room. Al, do you mind if we drop you out here for a second? You can hang out in the green room here. We're going to bring on Hugh.
We're bringing in Hugh Jackson.
What's going on, man?
Look at you, man. You look good.
Hey, you do too, buddy. Like you can still play.
Oh, no, I can't play.
On the
Them
sticks.
days is over.
On the sticks.
I can coach it, though. I can help you out.
I know you know how to do that, too.
I can help you out now.
Yes.
Where you at these days?
I'm helping over at Georgia State.
Okay, over there with Clay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How'd you guys do yesterday?
We won. We beat Chattanooga yesterday.
Yep. We beat Chad yesterday.
So, hey, Hugh, we're doing this watch party. We've got a whole bunch of people watching, and we just want to sort of break down what coaches are thinking about, what players are thinking about in these games. Like what goes through your mind? Because there's just so much. You know, you're a head coach and known for spreading the field. You know, like what goes through your mind in a 2-minute drill? Right now, the Broncos about to get the ball back with 42 seconds left. They've scored 1 touchdown and 2 safeties.
Mm-hmm. Well,
you got a rookie quarterback. What
as you know, is right before the half. So, you know, you want to get points, but you also want to make sure that you don't put your team in a position where the other team get points. So you got to do everything you can and manage that the right way. How many timeouts do you have? Where is the ball? You know, is my offense playing, you know, pretty well or not? Is their defense hot or not? You know, and then it becomes a game of matchups in those situations. Can I create something to get a big play, you know, and then play into my timeouts? Or do I need to make sure we get in at halftime and make the right adjustments to come out and play good the second half?
All right, rookie quarterback, first game in a loud stadium.
Well, that's tough. A loud stadium. You got to be very smart, you know, because again, you don't want to put your team in a position, but sometimes, you know, when you have a young quarterback, you got to find out what he can handle and what he can't handle, right? So there's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of different things that goes through the mind of the head coach as he's in those situations.
All right, so Hugh, 30 seconds left. Broncos have the ball on the negative 40. So what you're saying, we need 18 yards?
Oh, yeah, 18 to 20. If we can get 20 yards, boy, we got a chance to kick a field goal.
We got a chance to kick field goal. Now, Hugh, you do know usually a lot of coordinators have like their first 2-minute call, that coverage that's always starting to drive for them. Are you usually trying to call something to beat that coverage because you know that's coming, or you're just trying to get the ball out of the quarterback hands to get them going?
No, you just said it. You normally have those calls because the teams have been practicing those, right? This is the first game of the regular season. So you want to start off the same way you have as you've practiced, and hopefully that strategy works. But you want to get that quarterback in a rhythm as fast as you can.
Yeah,
all right, so Hugh, what's your go-to 2-minute drill play first down?
It's probably a bench route with a flat. So we're going to try to make sure we have something that's going towards the sideline. You know, if we need it so we can catch it and get out of bounds. But the quarterback's got to be prepared to run, too, and throw away if you need to.
Not a high-low there. That's a high-low for you, Pete.
Absolutely.
That's a high-low call there.
China route. We call those China routes, right?
China routes.
But you're on the headset with your quarterback. How you're giving him the play, and then you're saying, if it's not there, check it down. If it's not,
Absolutely. You just said it, Peter. So that's the fun part about, you know, it's really infiltrated the college game now too. You can talk to the quarterback up until 15 seconds, and then it shuts off. So you're trying to give him those little nuggets, but sometimes some coaches can talk to him too much. You can't tell him everything. You know, that's the preparation during the week.
right? So you want to talk to him, and when he gets shut off, but like you say, how much can he process?
Absolutely.
How much can he? All right, so now we got 3rd and 9, 19 seconds left.
Hey, just missed the dig route. He threw it behind him. He throws it in front of him. He has a chance. Cortland had a chance to catch it, though.
How many timeouts does Denver have?
Nothing.
0.
It's tough
0
at this time.
Okay. Well, they got a chance to get a completion, go up and clock it if they can make a first down, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably what Sean is thinking. Can we get a first down here, then go up and clock it and put ourselves in position to kick the ball?
Now, another thing, though, Hugh, is too, right, as a head coach, you talk about, now, obviously it's 19 seconds, but if it's a little bit more time on the clock, you're also getting the ball back at second half. So you talk about like 10-point swings, 14-point swings, right? We
Yes.
score here and then we score it coming out in the second half. That's a 10 to 14-point swing that absolutely changes the game tremendously.
Changes it fast, and people don't understand that those last 2 minutes or 3 minutes,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
that oh wow, I just heard it must have been a big play.
Yeah, that hasn't happened for us yet.
Chargers over the Raiders.
Sorry,
You.
I'm here.
Good
The
ball,
Chargers
good
are over
catch,
the
and
Raiders,
got out
huh?
of bounds. Yep, good ball, good catch, got out of bounds in field goal range. Here comes your 10-point swing that we're talking about right now. They can,
There it is,
There
CJ.
it is.
yeah, they're in because Denver does get the ball right to start the second half. They just had a great catch that they're putting on their own 29-yard line, 28-yard line.
Who
Trying
did
to
they
take them out
throw?
of bounds, and now
Who
that
did they
13
throw?
seconds.
Who did
He
they
threw it
throw
to
it to?
Reynolds. Threw it to Reynolds.
To Reynolds. Okay, there you go. I
All right,
mean,
Now,
wait. All right, so you got the ball in the 22, 13 seconds left. You take some shots in the end zone?
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you
you
did.
got
yeah.
to.
You'll get one or two. You'll get at
Oh
least
yeah,
one
you
or two.
Oh,
get
come on.
definitely get
Got him.
two.
He's open.
We got the commentator in the back before we
I
can
love
call
it. She's on top of it.
it.
She's on it. But how about your man Mixon today, Peter? What a game.
Man, Joe
Oh,
looked
my.
good, didn't he?
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I mean, if I'm the Bengals, I'm pissed. I hate to say that. I can say that, but come on, this guy just carried the ball 30 times for over 150.
I'm telling you.
And when
And a
did that
tug,
happen?
and he ran violently.
Yes, I bet he did. Boy, what a game. What a
As
game.
my agent, I told Pete, in my whole 9 years, how you don't set me up in a running situation like that?
That's
Now, granted, I got to play with Peyton Manning and I got to learn a lot, but man, I would
right.
love to have 30 totes a game for
Wow.
at
I
least
mean,
16
he's
weeks.
just getting started, CJ. That's what he's
Yeah.
doing.
But Hugh, how much? Because you know everybody thought you're this passing guru or whatever. But in your mind, how much is it? How important is it to wear the other team down with running the
Oh,
ball?
it's so important, especially in the National Football League. You know, you got to have a semblance of a running game to have the quarterback play well. And I don't think people get that and understand that. You got to be able to have that threat of being able to run the football at a high level.
So do you have to like pinch yourself? Like I stop. I know we're passing well. I know we're passing well. Run the ball. Run the ball. Do you have
Oh
someone to
yeah.
remind you?
Yes, because in the fourth quarter, that's where you win the game, right? I mean, and when you've worn these teams down and you've grinded on them, especially these great pass rushers, where they have to play the run, you know, for the more of the day, and these guys are getting chopped and cut and pushed and all those things, then all of a sudden people understand why you have to run the ball. Because if not, those guys in the fourth quarter, they're pretty fresh and they're going to beat you.
Right. But in the fourth quarter, if you're running the ball, that 180-pound corner is going to sit there and say, "Well, yeah, I came up and hit Joe Mixon in the first half. I'm fine." The
That's
third
right.
quarter, he's arm tackling him.
Peter, what we call those, Peter, is business
Business
decisions.
decisions.
That's right. They make
I've
those
heard a
decisions
lot
that-
of corners tell me.
That's
I
right.
heard a lot of corners yell at their linebackers.
That's
Safeties
right.
yell at their linebackers. Get CJ before he gets going. I've heard a
That's
lot
right,
of
because I'm
those.
not touching that rolling locomotive coming up. Like when CJ be running through there, man, people used to be like, that ain't happening.
Hugh, that's so funny.
So all right. So Hugh, all right. 13-9. Okay, your offense had 61 yards passing. What are you doing at halftime? Break down that 15
And you get the
minutes.
ball. And you get the ball coming out of the half for that.
But
Oh, no,
no,
we-
I mean,
we're
as
gonna
the
make-
head coach, what are you doing? You going in talking to coordinators?
I'm going in and talking to the staffs first. You just said it, and see what adjustments we have to make. How do we get this offense moving in a different directions? And obviously, it's about adjustments. And it might be as much as Bo Nix might need to run the ball more in this game. You know, you might need to pull out some zone read runs for him because he's talented with his legs. And so you just find those things. But when it's his first game, you try to do everything you can to lessen the anxiety for him, right? I mean, it's big game for him. But at the same time, you're trying to win. So you got to do what you got to do. And you might tell him, hey, 6 or 7 times this second half, we're going to put the ball in your hands and let you run with it. You got to go run for 2 first downs on third down, and we might call 5 other design runs for you to create some run opportunities here.
So, but as an offensive head coach, are you going in and are you talking to the defense coordinator? You said, no, he's fine. We've given up 100 yards in total offense, 2 safeties. I'm just going to let Vance do his thing. Are we huddling? What
No, we all huddle together first and see if there's something that Vance wants to do different. Boy, is there something else we can do to shut them down even more? And then I might tell Vance, hey, look, we're gonna take some chances here to score some points. We're gonna take some shots, we're gonna take some opportunities, and he says, hey, coach, gotcha. And away you go.
Oh, what a kick.
So are you at this point then? You go in, you meet with the coaches, you meet with the offense. Head coach also has to motivate. Head coach has to set the tone.
Mhm.
Are you addressing the whole team at halftime?
Yes, sir. Right before we go back out, just saying what we need to do to go finish the game, the right way. So I think it's important to let the coordinators, have their time and their say, but then the head coach has to pull it all together and they go follow the leader.
And at some point during all this too, the trainer's coming up and giving you the injury report.
Yes,
Yep.
and so we try to do that as I'm talking to the whole offense and defensive staff there, because if there's a player down, if there's an injury, or can a
Those
guy
adjustments can be
return,
made
all
too.
those things,
Yep.
you got to have all that information.
Now, as an offensive-minded coach,
Where's the beach?
It's showing.
plays that you had that were successful, how many of those that you're trying to repeat that you didn't get a chance to repeat in the first half? And then how many plays that you have, whether it's run or passes, where you're like, I got to get to that based on what we're seeing coverage-wise or based on what we're seeing in the front, right? Whether it's an over and under odd, based on what we're seeing in the front and what we do well, I got to get to call that because I didn't get a chance to call that. How often are those thoughts happening?
That happens a lot, CJ, because as you know, maybe a play you were just about to call, you ended up in a different situational standpoint. It might have been a third down, when you were going to call this call on mixed down.
Yep.
And then there are some shots that are still on your sheet because in the second half you got to save a few things that the team hadn't seen, and I think it's so important. I'm not a big proponent of repeating plays.
Okay.
Run plays I am, but not
For sure.
pass plays.
Not pass plays. I'm the same way.
I just think people see them, and they start to play them. But I think it's so important. These defenses are too good for you to do the same thing. So you got to have a little imagination and be able to put your team in position to be successful.
Yeah, I'm the same way in the pass game too. I mean, it's just a bigger variety. Like all the run games, whether it's gap scheme, man scheme, zone scheme, at some point.
Right.
But in the pass game, there's a lot of variety. Now, I want to move to a question with college. Obviously, a lot of the you can see a lot of the college game kind of influencing the NFL game as it's moving forward. My question for you though is, because of the protections, I still think the protection and how you protect, right? Whether that's 6-man protection, 7-man protection, 8-man protection, right? Whether that's Mike base protection or slide protection. How does the protection differ from where you're at in the NFL and then where you're at to college, and then also trying to help some of your college colleagues who probably don't have an NFL background to understand certain blitzes that's come? Because I know when I was at Rice, I'm like, we can pick this up if y'all really want to pick this up, we can pick this up. But when you have a boss, you kind of let them like, all right, you got it. I gave you my idea, but we can. I'm telling you, we can pick this blitz up.
CJ, you said it because there's always some defensive players that are probably a little bit better than some of your offensive linemen, and you know how to jerry-rig the protection as they think it is in order to rather sideboard chip, turn the protection to a guy, handle the double A gap issues. You know how to do that, and some people don't. They've never been exposed to it. So, but you said you have to pick your spots when you can say this will work and this will not work, because again, I mean, it's we've seen it at a high level. We know what it's like to block Myles Garrett or those kind of athletes week in and week out, and so you just have to temper it because again, it's another level here, right? But at the same time, the turning of the protection, the sliding of a protection, understanding when it's cover zero dog and when it's cover zero blitz, makes
What's the difference?
When it's cover zero dog, they're just they're showing a cover zero and not blitzing everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
They're just bringing the backer.
Saw zero, you can block the 6 guys and still throw the ball, but when it's cover zero blitz, they all coming.
Yeah, here comes at least 8, 7 or 8. Like the
come.
old, what I call, at least for my introduction, it was the old Zimmer, right? Zimmer, which VJ, that's where we learned it from, right? Down there when he was OC over there in Cincy, like Zimmer will
That's what
bring that
Zim.
8.
That's what Zim's doing to the Browns right now, and they're up 20-3.
Yeah, that third down at 8 up, 7 up, man. That gets, when it looks the same, it gets real confusing.
Oh yeah.
Right. Thank God I had
Yeah.
Peyton Manning who we knew how to decipher that, and we worked on that in practice. We had
That's
some
right.
good coaches, Eric Studesville, and I thought Adam Gase was solid with it. But when you get that 8 up, 7 up, and it looks the same, and when you have coaches, right, and some of these defensive coaches understand, because like we talked about the West Coast offense on our preview show, right? They understand 2-jet, 3-jet protection. They actually understand what that means and what beats it, right? So when you have coordinators like Wade sends a lot of man blitz, right? He's going to play man behind and send a lot of blitz, but he also understands what beats 2-jet, 3-jet protection. So if you don't have like 68 or 58 in certain West Coast offenses to turn it and do certain things, you could catch yourself in some trouble.
Absolutely. A lot of trouble.
Hey, Coach, what do you?
Well, I'm sorry, Hugh. So here's the deal. So right now, you former head coach of the Raiders, former head coach of the Browns, now in college, Northern Illinois beats Notre Dame.
Oof.
If you're Notre Dame, how do you get them? How do you get that train back on the tracks?
Well, I think the first thing you have to do is you got to own the loss, because if you don't own it, it's not gonna help you, right? And obviously he's got to get the train back on the track fast. Obviously I should have better players. We didn't play as well as we need to play. I got to go back and re-energize my coaching staff and our football team. Our goals are still out in front of us. Now we're going to get a bunch of noise from a lot of different places. We got to shut that down and not worry about that and go find a way this week to get better, at all the things we're doing and get back to playing football the way we can. We beat a real good Texas A&M team the week before. Now we just kind of pissed down our leg a little bit against a team that we should beat, each and every day. And so as a head coach and as a leader, you got to own that.
No, absolutely.
Ahead,
What do you, when you got like a guy like Bo Nix going into his first halftime as a professional, what are you telling him as a coach to, with a probably not the start he wanted, but not a terrible one. What are you telling him to, to keep his head up and be ready for the second half?
Oh, it's okay, because if I made that decision of playing, then I'm going to make the decision to put him in position to be successful. Everything I do in this game plan from the second half on is to make sure that he's going to be okay when we get to week 2. That he's standing and he's played well enough. So, because again, the head coach, especially if he's the play caller, he's going to set the whole mood for the team, especially with the quarterback.
Yep.
Right. So you have to do a great job. And that's why play calling, a lot of people don't think head coaches can do it at a high level. I don't believe that because I've done it. And I just think everything you do from here on in is about putting Bo in position to be successful because the team is watching. They need him to be successful.
No, that makes a ton of sense. And so if you're winning a big game, CJ's your back. He's at 165 yards. When do you pull him out of the game?
I look to CJ, say, CJ, you had enough? And he says, no, coach, because what Peter did for me for my bonus, I need to get about another 50 yards.
See, coaches like that I love playing for. Kubiak was like that, right? Foxy was like that. So coaches like that I love playing for. Now I don't want to be rude to any coaches, but one of my coaches in my career, and if you look at my teams who I play for, you'll know he wasn't like that. But coaches like that, I enjoy playing for. I'll run through a brick wall for it.
So Coach, I'm the church basketball league guy. I never played pro sports. I'm the high school guy in coaching. But like with the contracts and that information, it's interesting that you say that with CJ, and CJ says that. Like, how much of that information about their contracts and incentives do you have that in a game basis, like game where that's, especially as you're getting towards the end of the year, that you have that information to sort of either help a player out or, as management telling you like, hey, don't let CJ hit 1,000 yards. Cause if we do, we got to pay him, an extra $27 or something like that.
No, you just said, it happens and it happens both ways. But at the end of the day, I'm always going to side with the players. I understand the commitment that they make and that they give to their football team. And the other thing is that information around the locker room spreads fast.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
If it goes the wrong way, it could break a team apart. If it goes the right way, it could buy you more time. That's for sure.
So, Coach, I got a question going back to the quarterback design runs. Obviously, a lot of those players that are being recruited at the quarterback position in college, you kind of want that guy who can tween and run. But obviously, like Cam Newton, right, who didn't get the chance to play as long because of the physicality of how he ran the football. How often when you're calling plays, the difference in college and the league, that you're trying to protect your quarterback as much as possible. Because even in college, your quarterback go down unless you have a really good second string, right? Lincoln Riley had one and Caleb Williams, but usually you don't. The drop off at that position is way bigger than other positions. How often are you trying to have those quarterback design runs, especially for those guys like Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix, who were super athletic in college and use their legs way more than what they can in the NFL?
No, CJ, I think you have to have them because that's kind of who these players are, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you have to protect them, where they're exposed 15 to 18 times in a college game.
Right.
Maybe they're exposed 5 to 6 times in an NFL game.
Right.
And I think you're gonna if you get a back that offense that can rush for 110 yards in the National Football League, you add wide receiver reverses and arounds to that.
Yep.
You add the quarterback rush to that. Well, you're one of the top rushing teams in pro
Team in the
football,
league. Yeah. Which that
and
goes a
that's
long
how.
way.
Yeah, and that's how it works. And so you have to think like that a little bit. And so you use the guy's skill, but you always got somebody out in front of him protecting him. You take the tight end, you arc him, you do all those different things. But at the same time, you got to be very, very thoughtful or mindful, I should say, of what you're doing because you can't get that guy hurt.
So now I know when you were in Cincinnati, you had Gio Early, you had Jeremy. You guys were super physical. How do you teach that physicality? Because you know how we practice in the NFL, different than how we
Oh
practice
yeah.
in college. So how do you teach that physicality to get right pad level, to get these O linemen, to get these people in the league to understand when you're one of those top rushing teams, you see yourself towards the end of the year in January, February when it's trying to play for championships.
CJ, you said it. I mean, it's a mindset, right? And we talked about it and preached it every day, but our practices were very physical and non-pads. We were one of those teams that were always on the edge where the league wanted to say, you guys are going to lose some days because that's the only way to learn, You got to practice that way almost all year because you can't be in pads a lot, as you know. So you might as well learn how to do it now, and get good at it. And Marvin was great at creating that environment. And our players were great at practicing that way.
Now, what about the college game that you try to give your expertise to get them to understand it? Because now in the college game, they want to throw the ball 60 times.
You just said it. The thing that I've learned, at the college game that's so different, they don't want to tackle,
Oh my goodness.
in training camp. And I get it, but you got to find out about your team before you ever get them to play.
Said it all the time.
So I believe in tackling. I mean, football is a game of tackling. How you can't be a good tackling or blocking team unless you block and tackle.
Block and tackle.
So
that's what the
you have
game
to
is.
do those. Yeah, you have to do those things. I don't want to find out on game day what the guys are going to do. I need to already know what they can do.
So coaching, like being week one, you've had a lot of week ones. Like, what's usually keeps you up at night before the first game?
The thing that keeps me up at night is probably not knowing exactly what the other team wants to do, right? Because preseason is the preseason. Boy, there's going to be some look from a third down situation. Situational football is where you win in the National Football League. And so you have to be great at third down. Boy, what is going to be different about third down? What's going to be different about short yardage? Because short yardage is a place where in the National Football League you can score touchdowns. And so you have to make sure that those things are locked in right. And those are the things that would keep me up.
Yeah, one thing with us, Rob, just to piggyback off that, right? Second 14 for the Broncos right now, too. But one thing about us, I love playing, right? Whether it was Green Bay with Don Capers or Pittsburgh with Dick LeBeau or Cincinnati with Mike Zimmer. Because you can sense, right? They've been in the league for so long, even when Wade was in Dallas, right? You can sense of what you're going to get because they've been doing it for so long.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of these new coordinators like Mike McDonald, right? Or like Ryan Grubbs on the offensive side of the ball, where you're like, they don't have too much NFL experience, but then they also don't have a lot of crazy coaching experience where they have a thumbprint. like some of these other coordinators where you're like, we know this thumbprint, we know where we're going to get on third down, we know where we're going to get right first, second 1 to 6 or second 7 to plus. We kind of understand what we're going to get. Right? Like Sean Payton will be a lot easier to game plan for the Seahawks than what Ryan Grubbs was on the other side for the Broncos, just because Sean Payton has a thumbprint. You can go back. That same call he made in New Orleans, he making that same call in Denver, right?
Yes,
that same call
is.
he probably made when he was offensive coordinator with the Giants is the same back in 2000. It's probably some of the same formations, the same calls that he's doing now compared to some of these new coordinators. That's one thing that I learned later in my career, right? I always look at the schedule and try to look at coordinators and go, okay, where's this coordinator new, or did this coordinator come from a different team? Where it's like, okay, he's been a defensive coordinator for so long. But when you have those like, oh, now we made this DB coach the new coordinator, you're like, okay, I don't know what he's doing. All right. So
CJ, is interesting you say that because that's what pros do. They find out just like, if you're an offensive tackle, you're going to go find out all those defensive ends you're going to play, protect against.
Yep.
You want to know as much about your job as anybody. And that's the way it is when you're the coordinator. Like you say, you gotta reinvent yourself every year too. And that's where people forget, that boy, because a lot of people do stay the same. You got to change what you do because people find you out.
So Hugh, Hugh, this is one of my pet peeves, right? I hate to delay a game. Right now it was 2nd and 12 or whatever.
I was just going to update everybody, but go ahead, you doing it.
So Hugh, 2nd and 12, Bo Nix goes back, he's running through everything, and all of a sudden the play clock runs out. At some point, you're like, just snap the friggin' ball.
You just said it. Just snap it. Sometimes you do, because you can't lose that. You can't lose that penalty in that situation, and you don't want to lose a timeout in that situation. That's why everybody says that's inexcusable, because that's a quarterback to coordinator, head coach, whatever that is, communication issue.
Right, but at some point, isn't it the quarterback's got to have the poise, be able to sit there and always, first thing you do when you go to a visiting stadium, where's the clock? Where's the clock?
Absolutely.
Find the clock. And then shouldn't the running back like CJ go? I mean, he should be going, Omaha, whatever.
I've done it. Yeah, I've done it where it's like 6 seconds, 6 seconds, 4 seconds. I've done it because I'm paying attention too, right? I mean, that's one thing I can say about Stu's, right? I love Coach E. Coach E always, hey, you're the second eyes back there, right? And especially when you're playing with a guy
last line of
like
defense, baby.
Especially when you're playing with a guy like Peyton, sometimes he can get into his own head and forget that he needs to snap the ball. You got to kind of remind him, like, P, right? 12, especially I play, Trevor Lawrence was that way. Brock Osweiler was that way. Got to let him know, hey, 2 seconds. We need to get this off, right? Because one thing that kills drives, right? Sacks kill drives, penalties kill drives, right? We do not want to be behind the sticks. Being behind the sticks makes it a very hard play call.
Momentum is real in the National Football League, boy.
So those are unforced errors in my mind, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Is that on the head coach? Is that on the coordinator?
Yeah, that's it. But it's on the planning, right? We didn't equip the quarterback with that trump card in his pocket that when it is going down, what is that word or what is that play you get to in that situation?
Right. And if whatever they spotted it, whatever you notice it, you just got to get up there. And if, like CJ said,
Yes,
Peyton's word was Omaha, some other bullet, whatever, right?
Yes. I got to get to this meeting. I'm getting the evil eyes over here.
Who's better than Hugh Jackson? Come on, let's go.
Thanks for joining us, Coach.
Thanks for joining us, Coach. Good seeing you, man.
I love the work you guys are doing. CJ, good seeing you. It's nice meeting you. And Peter, I'm sure we'll speak soon.
Let's talk this week.
All right, buddy. Take care.
You get a job, I'm ready, man.
Yes, sir. Let's go. Come on, Peter. Let's go.
I'm on it.
All right.
Who's better than Hugh Jackson, huh?
That's you, everybody.
He's the man.
Okay. Yeah. We almost worked together. We actually had an opportunity. It didn't go our way over there at Morehouse College. We almost got a chance to work together. Morehouse ended up choosing somebody else. They end up, they're 0-2 right now. They probably shouldn't have did that. They'll be 2-0 if they had me and you.
Hey, so Scott McClellan's supposed to be calling in, former general manager of the Redskins Commanders. And
Scott McClellan. Look at my man, Scott.
CJ, you got your resume ready, all polished up?
Yeah, Scott can help me out a lot. Scott knows who I am, too, so that makes Scott knows I'm a smart player.
He says he's in the waiting room, is he?
No.
You got the wrong link. You send him the other link. But just to fill everybody in, wow, good big pass by Geno Smith right there. Got everybody in the first down. But just to fill everybody in, Broncos come out first drive. They run the ball -4. Next play, delay of game. Next play, incomplete. Got a punt behind the sticks at 3rd and 18. Can't do that, right? Moss right there, guarding Tyler Lockett, right? Just wasn't on his hip attached. It's hard to play DB in the National Football League, and they just gave up another big play. Here's 1st and 10 for the Seahawks as they're driving down, right, trying to find a way to put points on the board. Big hole right there. Good run. Good tackle, right? Good tackle. Blocking and tackling. He's not lying when he says that. And I preach that as a coach myself, right? We got to block. We got to tackle. Like, the game is that simple when you can do that, right? When you see good tackling teams, like, I think that's what made, like, if you paid attention, like, Kansas City tackled really well, right, Thursday night on some plays that could have been big, right? If you look at the other end, though, like, even though Eagles won, they didn't tackle so well, right? They gave up way too many explosive plays for a defensive coordinator minded that they want to do.
I think the great coach John McKay once said for the Tampa Bay Bucks after they got blown out, he goes, "We made up by not tackling well, by not blocking well."
Another big run right there by I think his name is Trayvon Walker, kid out of Michigan State. Thought he was a good player coming out, Pete. Thought he was a good back coming out.
We thought he was the best back in the draft that year.
Yeah, very good balance, right? Low run of the ground, runs powerful.
Michigan State, a lot like Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Sean Green, who also had a good time in the NFL with the Jets when Rex Ryan was the head coach over there. And I think Marty was calling the plays that back at that time, right? False start by the Seahawks, puts them behind the sticks. These are the unforced errors that Coach Jackson was talking about. You don't want to put yourself behind the sticks, right? Obviously, we want to see the Seahawks behind the sticks because we are rooting for Denver.
Yeah, but that's because, CJ, that's because this guy 78 is a turnstile, and he's just trying to get back in his stance.
Yeah, he's leaning a little too hard, huh? He doesn't have the great Schaffer who had Joe Thomas telling him how to do things, huh?
No, but at some point, you've got to make some adjustments. You got to chip. You got to get him some help because right now he needs help.
Yeah, I mean, some coordinators, and we didn't get to that with Hugh. Some coordinators absolutely do not believe in chipping. Absolutely don't believe in it, which is crazy when you have the Khalil Max and those people of the world, right, who can make those plays. See, that has to be a tackle right there. That has to be a tackle right there. Touchdown Seahawks.
Is this part of the second half where these guys haven't played the snaps you guys were talking about, not making the tackles that they need to, not being where they're supposed to be in the second half?
Well, that's more mental. The physical that Pete's talking about, yes. And then obviously when you don't get a chance to tackle in the National Football League a lot, which that's why I asked you that question, because in college, you can make your team tackle. You have a lot of scrimmages where you can do those things. Like right here, Moss misses a tackle. They miss a tackle in the hole by one of the linebackers. You have to find a way to tackle and be consistently with the tackle and do that. And one thing I like, Pete Carroll has a video out there, if anybody's listening, on tackling and how much they worked on it in non-pads. And it is a great football video if you're a coach to teach your kids how to tackle without being in pads. And I thought what Pete and I think his name is Ken Norton, right? The defensive coordinator that was with Pete, right, who played linebacker in the NFL, right? They did a good job of showing their defense how to tackle. And that's why, when Pete was there, Seattle defense was always one of the tops because they can tackle really well.
But this is what we talked about on Friday. This is what we talked about earlier, wearing people down. So right now, Seattle really was not efficient in the first half. I think they had maybe 60 yards rushing. And Denver VJ was all kinds of smoke and mirrors and playing great defense. But how long is that sustainable?
Yeah.
Especially when you get, it's tough, especially when you're talking to VJ earlier. Like, VJ know that the weakness has to do something in the front seven, whether it's not anchoring down or not being big enough to play the run, and why he needs to smoke in mirrors and hoping that Seattle doesn't sit there and run the ball and try to win the game with Geno because of what he got going on. So coordinators know their weaknesses too. All right. And that's another thing that probably keep Hugh up at night, understanding he knows what his weaknesses is, right? Whether it's the left tackle or the guard or something in the run game. There's things on the call sheet. I know as a play caller, right, the time that I call plays or suggested plays in my career and my coaching career right now, there's things on the call sheet you want to call because it looks good on paper, but you don't know if you can execute it because of what you got going on out there that day, right? Not that week, that day, right? It's a little difference when you can't block. You like this play call, but then you got Aaron Donald in front of you. You probably can't call that play the way you want to.
It's changed a lot when Aaron Donald's standing across the line than a lot of other people, I'm sure.
Completely, right? Completely. So that's what I always try to remember, man. Like the matchups that Hugh talked about. The matchups is huge in that session. There you go. Who play call sheet is that? Scotty, what's up, baby? It is good to see you, man. It's been a long time. I haven't seen you in almost 7-8 years or so.
I'm getting old, partner. It's all right, though. It's all right.
You and me both.
It means my kids are growing up. It's a good thing.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
All right, so Scotty, former general manager, Washington Redskins, San Francisco 49ers. We're watching football here. All we're doing is watching ball and talking ball.
Yep.
All right.
Nothing wrong with that.
At halftime, you're the general manager. Are you doing anything, or are you just sitting there thinking, leave it to the coaches?
Leave it to the coaches, 100%. Players and coaches. Comes game day, it's up to them. Now, if all of a sudden we get a player hurt during the game, something I know is going to be a little bit long-term, then we'll get on the phone with agents and get guys to fly in that night, work them out, so we can add to it. But, yeah, besides that, no, I don't touch the coaches. I don't touch the players. It's their game. I have nothing to do with it. It's awesome. It's their livelihood.
So for those that don't know, Scott was the one that drafted Alex Smith in San Francisco. And we're watching Bo Nix here, Broncos, and then we got Jaden Daniels on the Redskins, or Commanders, excuse me. What goes into the process of selecting a first-round quarterback?
A lot. The thing is, there's a lot of good players out there every year. The amount of money you're investing from a standpoint of being a GM, it doesn't matter. It's not me. I mean, that's ownership. It affects the cap some, but not the guaranteed money usually because you spread it out long enough. But the person, the it factor, what's going to make them from being a good college player, because as you guys are well aware, it's so much different going from college to pro.
Yep.
And who makes the Frank Gore? Makes them from good to great to special. That's what you're trying to look for. And you can do all the interviews you want to do. You get all the dinners you want to have. You get all the interviews that you think matter to you, but you still don't know them. The most important thing to me was having connections at the universities to know how the kid was a freshman, as a sophomore, as a junior, possibly as a senior, and just knowing what kind of guy they are. It's not so much about the talent, because everybody has talent in the NFL, everybody to a certain level, but what's going to make them a great teammate, make them a leader, and make them special.
Now, I had a question, Scott.
Yep.
When you're taking a young quarterback, right, to hopefully help change the franchise, what on your side, as far as like, obviously you're making the hiring process before you draft a quarterback, but the quarterbacks that are coming out, what makes you take a guy like Mike Nolan as a head coach who's defensive minded compared to like Jim Harbaugh, who's offensive minded, who can probably help that young quarterback develop and grow further? How much of that goes into, right, who do I need to take? Or are you thinking more, I'm only taking Mike Nolan because I'm thinking about the team and I'm thinking about the position that can carry it, right? How much does that go into in your decision process when hiring a coach, right? Offensive, defensive minded, depending on like who you think you might get in the draft, because where you sit in position, number one and number two.
Yeah. The thing about it, Mike Nolan got hired like 2 weeks before I got hired, so
Wow.
I didn't hire him, but we were together the whole time.
Yeah, I know. I'm just throwing an example. Yeah.
No, but I did hire Mike Singletary as the coach after that.
Yep.
It plays into it. It plays into it a lot because, it's each coach has their likes, wants, their girlfriend that's like, this is it, and if you got a defensive-minded head coach, he's coming in all the time like, hey, what about this guy? I'm like, listen, we got an offense too.
Right.
we got to take somebody on offense. We got to score points. You know what? But it's
all right. So here's a big third down play. Sorry, Scott, for the Broncos. 3rd and 11.
Turnover and fumble. It might be incomplete, but he did catch it and make a football move. Got stripped. Seahawks recovered the ball. So it's looking like a Bronco turnover, which, for a rookie quarterback, you do not want that, especially if he didn't cause the turnover. So that's 2 turnovers for the Broncos already, which is putting them in tough sledding.
It looks like he made a football move, so it's going to be a turnover. But this is one of Scott's big peeves. I've known him for 30 years. Little running backs, little guys.
They're okay if they score touchdowns. They catch the ball on third down. It's all right.
Oh, no, he caught the ball on third down. That's the problem.
No,
He
I
just,
know,
he
but
just let it go. He just let it go.
Yeah, it's all right. He didn't mean to do it. It's just part of the process. He'll come back and make a play. You wait and see right in this game. Now, I don't know with Sean if he's going to allow him to be back on the field, but Mike Holmgren would never allow him back on the field.
Sean probably won't either. The Sean that I never played for Sean, but the Sean I hear about, probably not. So back to that. What as a GM, when you're thinking offense and defensive minded, what is making you make that decision? Because obviously, there's like I play with Wade Phillips, who obviously been a head coach in the league, and I think he's a hell of a defensive coordinator. And he definitely motivates us. Like Kubiak had him talk to the whole team, and he definitely motivated us. Obviously, Kubiak was our head coach at that time, and Kubiak obviously motivated us and did some things in that way too, right? Obviously, we had a defensive identity when we won the Super Bowl in 2015, even though we got an offensive-minded head coach. What makes you say he's the guy and he's not the guy?
It depends where you're at in the organization from the standpoint of the team. When I first got to San Fran in 2005, I knew we just had to take football players. It didn't matter offense, defense. I didn't give a care less.
You draft some good ones.
Well, yeah, but you know what I'm saying, though? I just wanted football players. I wanted guys that were tough sons of guns, that were intelligent, that were good people, and they were going to step to the plate because I knew we were going to have tough times early, and we did.
Right.
And there's no doubt about it. But I took up front, O-line, D-line. It's funny. I'll tell you a good story. My first year in San Fran, I won bang, bang, bang in the first 3 picks, offensive players, right? and it was Alex Smith, it was Boss, and it was Gore. And then I told the D coordinator, I said, go to the office and watch the safety. I kind of like him. I think I'm going to take him. So he went down to his office. He's sitting in his office watching the TV while he's watching tape, watching ESPN, the draft. And it says the 49ers take Adam Snyder, offensive lineman, Oregon. he came running down to the draft room. He's like, you son of a gun. You got me out of the room so you wouldn't take a defensive player.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
No. And the thing about it, honestly, at that juncture, we had 14 picks that year, my first year in San Fran, and 12 of the 14 made it. But that is positive, but it's also just showed the roster. And not knocking the ex-players at all. But there's a reason why the head coach got hired, reason why I got hired. We need to upgrade the talent. Had to. So, and we did. But honestly, when it's said and done, first, second, third round, I would never really draft for need. Now, if I'm in the third round and I have 2 guys that are very close, and one's a corner and one's a pass rusher, and I know I need a pass rusher, I'm taking the pass rusher.
Got it.
But if I need a cover corner, I'm taking the corner. But offense, defense didn't matter to me really early on. And I wasn't old enough and smart enough to understand the whole package. I just took the best football player. I just wanted a baller, just a baller.
What were your thoughts on?
So now we got 3rd and 1. Seahawks have the ball because it was an intercept or it was a fumble.
It was a turnover. Yeah.
Turnover. Seahawks are now just straight pounding the ball.
What are your thoughts, Scott, on when you typically trade back, or trading up the cost it takes to move around in the draft, especially in the first round for a quarterback?
Yeah, it's a very good question. You know what? I very, 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 very seldom traded up. I trade back. I did with Carolina in 2007, and to get me a second first-round pick, and ended up being Joe Staley, ended up being a really good player for us, really good player. I hated to give picks away because I knew we were so far away from being a good team. I need young guys. I need rookie contracts.
Need the picks, You need rookie contracts, to bring in veteran free agents on rookie contracts where that can mesh.
Correct.
Mhm.
You know, and the thing about it, I have no problem for agency. My two bosses, Ron Wolf was my first boss, and Ted Thompson, my second boss. They they did not like free agency at all, and I really didn't either. And I kind of molded from that. But like I brought like in Justin Smith, you know,
Yep.
and the thing about it, I brought him in. Everybody's like, you're paying him way too much money. He only has this many sacks. You know, he's coming from the Bengals. They're a
His
losing
ass is a
team.
damn good player, boy.
But no, I brought the attitude in, you
Yeah.
know, in the teammate in the locker room. And I'll tell you what, he straightened that stuff up real quick, real
Yeah.
quick.
Now he's a good player. I mean, I played against him.
Yeah.
He was a good player. Now I had a
Yeah.
question. So with a guy like me who was undrafted and obviously, right, I
Sure.
made 2 Pro Bowls. I had a good career in my
Correct.
8 years. When you're looking at an undrafted guy, what makes you say we want to give this guy an opportunity? Obviously, when he earns it, I understand that part of it. But what makes you say I'm gonna give this guy an opportunity because I see something in him? And then when he earns it, what makes you say, okay, I know we put some money and invested in this guy who you know we paid, but we got to play this guy because he's out playing or playing just as well as the guy we paid.
Sure.
How do those conversations and that process go? Because if I didn't have Pete as my agent, I probably would have lost my mind when I was out playing one of the backs that they drafted in front of me and I had to wait my turn. Probably would have
Sure.
lost my mind if I didn't have a guy like Pete who can talk to you to pretty much tell me that your time is coming. Calm down.
Certainly. Well, first of all, CJ, you had a hell of a career.
Thank you.
Total respect. Total respect. A lot of time it comes down with the undrafted free agents.
Mm-hmm.
I give that to the scouts, the area scouts.
Got it.
And the guy keeps fighting, and the guy I respect keeps fighting. I'm going to sign him no matter what.
Okay.
You know, and you don't get a lot of money in free
Yep.
agency. You know
Nope.
that. I mean,
Yep.
It is what it is. It's about the opportunity, where to play and what to do. But it's I'll watch them. Don't get me wrong. I watch everybody. I try to as much as I can, but I spend a lot more time on the draftable guys that we think are draftable.
Yep.
But if there's an area scout that keeps talking to me, or an agent's calling me all the time saying, "Listen, this guy's getting some play. This guy's
Touchdown,
hot
Seattle.
item," yeah, then I'll watch. You know, and again, it comes down to okay, I get it. He's got talent. I get it. What's he going to bring to our organization? Besides his football talents, what's he bring? You know, good guy, bad guy,
Yep.
tough guy, smart guy, not tough, not smart. I need to know everything. You know, so then it plays in that. You know, and I never forget the year one of the years I was in Seattle. I was a senior personnel executive with John Snyder. You know, we had Doug Baldwin.
Doug
who was from
Baldwin. I was gonna bring him up from Stanford. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Stanford, you know, and I was in there and I love Jim Harbaugh to death, but Baldwin came out the year before and knocked the head coach in the media about not being able to play.
Oh wow,
You know?
I didn't know that. Yeah, that's interesting. That's big time. Yeah.
No. And, I knew David Shaw, I knew Pep Hamilton, I knew all those guys. And they're like, no, he can play. Keep an eye on him, you know? So all of a sudden in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, no one, if Jim's knocking him, then he's not going to get drafted, you know, because background stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
And he was a littler guy, for a receiver, and I'm like, well, he'll be a hell of a free agent. Some bitch ended up being, I think he's the second or third leading receiver in Seahawk history.
Doug played ball, man. Doug, good player.
No, I love Doug. He's a tough son of a gun too. Now, he get after your ass pretty good.
All right, so now we got the Broncos. Second goal for Seattle on the 14, up by 3.
Nice little 5-yard run right there.
Holding penalty.
Yeah.
So right now, Geno Smith has 80 yards passing. Bo Nix has 68 yards passing. We're coming up on the fourth quarter.
Did you see what Caleb Williams threw for today?
93 or something like that.
93.
Yeah, he didn't throw for nothing special either.
No. These defenses, I'm telling you, especially these young quarterbacks, they'll get them now.
And what I was telling Rob earlier is the difference in the game that I noticed, and this is playing running back, the D-line, they're just that much better, like way across the board than what I played in college, and how faster, how quicker they are. I know it shocked me running the football, right? Arm tackles and things that I used to run through too, right? Like when I ran into Vince Wilfork arm, he brought me down with one arm one time. right? And I know as a quarterback, you're in college, you might have a clean pocket. That pocket not gonna be clean majority of the time in the NFL because
Correct.
these D linemen is faster and they on your feet. And then obviously the windows are tighter too because the DBs are better too. But the D line makes the difference at the next level. That I noticed real fast than any other position.
Well, that 93 yards for Caleb Williams right now is the leader in the clubhouse for the rookie quarterback starting today, because Jaden Daniels is at 59 yards and Bo Nix is at 68 yards. So combined,
it's not easy. I'm telling you. CJ
and they look good right now. The GM over there, Ryan Porter over there, look good for Chicago right now.
Combined yardage of the 3 first-round quarterbacks is less than CJ's bowling average.
I'm a good bowler, baby.
Hey, Scott, CJ and I talked a lot on Friday about like a good fit. There's players that could, fit an organization and be in a different organization, be out of the league before their rookie contract's up. How do you value or put as a metric fit in the organization?
Great question.
Well, a lot of it, once you identify the players you want, you get an idea who you're going to draft. Like, I knew my first year I was taking Frank Gore in the 3rd round, first pick, because he had medical issues coming out. He had 2 knees, 2 shoulders, so I knew he's going to be there. But then you got to get on with the coaches, because you want the coaches to buy ownership to the pick, because then all of a sudden they feel like it's like a family member, I drafted players before, not many of them, where the coach didn't want them, and they don't give them a chance. It's like they're against them. So you got to get them to get ownership into it, and then again, it's scheme. It's especially in the 2nd, 3rd day, it's kind of need, really the 3rd day, but still you have to draft the mentality that's going to fit in the film room, with the meeting rooms, with the team room, but also the coaches have to be on board. They have to, because otherwise, it's sad to say, but they won't give him a chance. I drafted a kid out of West Virginia my 2nd year, and I remember walking out of the draft room, and the receivers coach says, "I don't want him. He plays quarterback." And I drafted him as a wide receiver because he's a hell of an athlete and a really good player. And I heard him, and I jumped his tail on it big time. The poor kid had no chance to ever make the team, ever. It's awful.
How often do you and your coaches don't usually line up on picks? Because I've heard that from other coaches as well. Like, oh, they drafted a guy and they didn't do the evaluation on that guy. They wanted another guy, but you and your team was like, nah, this guy. So how often are you guys not on the same page when it comes to
you know what? As I got older, being in the front office, having say in draft picks and stuff, I made sure the coaches were involved. I made sure. And then if they weren't, say I like the guy or the scouts like the guy, or we like the guy as a personnel department, I'd make sure I get the coach at night and I'm come down and watch tape with me. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you don't see. Because like I said, they need to take ownership. Once they take ownership, coaches, they're prideful now.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of, like, when I retired, Eric Studesville told me a lot of stories of times he stood up on the table for me, because obviously he's with me every day in the meeting room, especially when I was an undrafted rookie. Like, he's with me every day in the meeting room saying, nah, this guy is someone we need. This guy, like, he told me a lot of times how he was fighting for me, which kept me around, which I'm happy about. Right. And it's good to have those. And when you say have those coaches take ownership of a pick, I've seen coaches fight for certain players, all right, at that 2nd, at that 3rd or 4th or 5th round range that they're fighting for. My question, another question I have for you is, when it comes to that, that those day 2 or day 3 guys, right? Obviously your day 1 guys, you kind of want them to help you right away. But, your day 2, day 3 guys might have to start off on special teams before they emerge until we want them to emerge to. How long do you give them a chance to develop? Like, head coach come to you and go, hey, man, I don't think this guy, right? Like, say Frank in the 3rd round. Like, hey, man, I don't know if Frank going to be this, but you're like, nah, man, you got to give him a year or give him 2 more years. Yeah. How much power and say-so do you have in that of getting a player a chance to develop, right, and making sure he being developed the correct way before both sides decides to say, okay, we need to move forward.
If I draft a person, he's mine. I'm going to fight for him 100%. There's a reason why I drafted him. 100.
That's the truth.
You know,
Oh, I'm glad you said
100%.
that. I'm glad you said that.
100%. And the thing about it is, if all of a sudden they're into year 2, year 3, year 4, and they're not panning out, I'll still fight for them because by then I know them as people.
Yeah.
Now if he's not a good dude, if he's causing problems off the field, if he's causing problems in the locker room, then I get it. Okay, you got to do what's best for the organization and the team. But no, I drafted a guy. I got his back bigger than life.
See, Pete, Pops, you remember Mike Adams?
Oh, he's a special teams coach for the Giants now.
For the Giants right now, I know. Pops told me when I got to Carolina with him, once you're undrafted, you're always undrafted.
Scott's the one that signed them.
These dudes don't rock with you as much. You got to prove it every day when you're undrafted. And I didn't get that until I got to Carolina, because when I got to Carolina, first of all, I just ran all over y'all in the Super Bowl. 2-time Pro Bowler. I'm like, I'm a 2-time Pro Bowler. Now I get it, right? They got Christian McCaffrey at the time, right? But, what Ron and Marty told me when I got in that, we were going to be sharing carries. And obviously C-Mac ended up emerging, which is great. And I ended up going to L.A., and we all know how that worked out. But I remember like, man, why am I not getting no reps, no nothing? And Pops came to me and said, hey, man, you undrafted. And I'm like, dog, this is year 6. I'm proving. What do you mean? I'm proving. But that makes sense, because I've seen a lot of GMs ride for wherever they go somewhere. They go get a guy immediately that they drafted, and that just makes sense. And I'm glad you say that, because it's like, I've seen that happen.
Yeah, no. I'm telling you, it becomes personal to a point. I mean, it's like, this is my guy. I'm going to take care of him no matter what. I know him. I know his wife. I know his kids.
Family, his kids. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's huge. I'm telling you that the worst day for a GM ever during the whole season. It doesn't matter if you lose a Super Bowl. I've lost them. I've won them. I've done everything. It's cut down day.
Cut day is tough, man.
Because you affect people's lives in such a negative manner, which I hate to do, but you have to do it. It's part of the business, and these son of a guns, all they want to do is play ball. That's all they know, most of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, son of a gun. But the thing that's cool about it, when I was in it, I've been out for 6 years now, whatever it is, that back then it was an 8-man practice squad. Now we got 16. I always fought for 16. I always fought for the
max.
Well, yeah. Well, no doubt about it. I'm carrying 16 no matter what.
Right.
But even when they had NFL Europe, remember that?
Yep, NFL Europe. Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget sitting with the owner with the 49ers, and he's like, "Can you believe every owner's paying $1 million to keep this thing running?" I said, "It's worth more than $1 million, I promise you." Because you know what, we're developing, especially quarterbacks. Good players. Good players. Oh, no doubt about it.
We're coming down to the end of the fourth quarter. Seattle not really doing much on offense, just enough to move the chains a little.
Yeah.
Well, okay, Peter, if you're in the fourth quarter, then you're a quarter ahead of me.
He's about a minute and a half ahead.
He's about a minute and a half ahead of us. I'm still 30 seconds in, but they're letting it go. I got another question for you, Scotty, that isn't on my mind. So obviously, when you watch the tape, you see football players. Like, that guy's a football player, and then you watch the tape and you see measurables. How much does measurables overrun the football player, right? Like, he might be a good football player, but the measurable is better. But then you have a guy who's probably a little undersized, but an awesome football player, but his measurables just do not match up what you're used to seeing at those positions that those measurables match up for.
I'm old school, just so you know. I'm not analytics. I'm none of that stuff. I'm old school. T-shirt and shorts, I give a rat's ass. I don't even pay attention to it. I mean, it's cool to see a guy run 4.2, 4.3. Yeah. Back in the day when I started back in the, mid 90s, early 90s, you go to combine, if you had 5 guys run 4.4, they're like, damn, that's fast. Hell, now you got D linemen running it.
Yeah.
4.2, 4.3. It's part of the in my opinion, the portfolio. It's part of it. He jumps high, he broad jumps, he does good short shuttle, and that's all cool. But it comes down to tape, plain and simple. It's a football player. I mean, Frank Gore, and I always say this and he gets pissed at me, he ran 4.78 on the track. Anquan Bolden ran 4.82 on the track. And both them sons of guns are good football
Yeah, they're
players.
damn good football players.
I mean, damn good. I mean,
Quan, I love Quan game. I love Frank game.
Yeah.
Me and Frank tight as hell. But
Yeah.
Quan game, I love Quan game. Quan was strong receiver, gonna block, gonna do the dirty work, catch the ball over the middle, right? And gonna run the ball, gonna have yak like a running back after he catches the ball. That's what Quan was.
Scott, hold up. So Allison just came upstairs and said, "Did you see Travis and Taylor Swift at the U.S. Open? Like, who is watching tennis right now?"
Center won.
Allison.
We had a U.S. men's guy win the championship. I was watching it earlier. No, it was awesome. Center won. Yannick Sinner from Italy. Okay. But Scott, I did have another question for you, because like in my world, I work in the business world. Like if I hired a sales guy and they didn't like check the boxes, do they have a college degree? Do they have experience?
Yeah.
All those things. It's like if I hire someone that doesn't check the boxes, it's not a safe pick. Where then my manager's going, "Why'd you hire this guy if he doesn't work out?" But he may work out and be a stud and crush it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, how does that weigh in when you're picking guys? Where it's like there's a safe pick versus the right pick. Where it's like, how do you balance that?
I'll take a flyer late in the draft or in free agency on an athlete, just because I know, wow, that speed is unique. Say it's a wide receiver, say it's a corner, say it's a punt return, kick return, or whatever. But when it's all said and done, you need to take football players, guys that have been, 2, 3, 4-year starters in college, guys that were captains, guys that high school ball. I don't care about 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star coming out of high school, because everybody changes. Yep. I made 2 big mistakes in my career drafting in the first round. And both guys I made mistakes on, I did not meet face-to-face prior to the draft.
Wow.
And it just the character, the it factor. I want to see his eyes. I want to see the passion. I want to see, listen, this is all I have. If I don't have this, I have nothing.
Touchdown, Seattle. What a play. Blown coverage. This is a blown coverage assignment there. Linebacker running over there late. Broncos is tough. Now you got the rookie quarterback. So now the situation changed. You got the rookie quarterback. You're down 2 scores. 14. A lot of time left. A lot of football left.
Let's see what he's got, though.
Sean has to make some calls for Bo to push it down the field. Now, I will say this as a player and as a coach now, Sean had a game plan coming in, and when that game plan is getting changed, some of the plays that Sean probably would love to have right now, he ain't got on that call sheet because he wasn't expecting the game to go this way.
No. It's going to be tough, but you know what? This is good for the rookie. Really, really good for the rookie. Even if they come on the short end, it's still really good.
All right, so but how much you're down by 2 touchdowns? They haven't really been successful. 80 yards passing. Now you're gonna have to throw the ball all the time. This can get ugly pretty quickly, though, right?
Or it could be good.
All right, so we got a wheel route here, right, CJ? So what happened was you got the in route and the wheel route.
Yeah, but
what
you got
the linebacker's supposed to release them?
Nah, the safety, they was in quarters. BJ called quarters, and the safety palms. The corner runs with the dig, and then the safety jumps on number. He jumps on the same dig as well. Even the safety has to stay in the corner, or the corner lets the dig go to the safety because the safety jumps on it and the corner sits on the wheel. So that's a blown coverage by one of those two, right? I mean, it's quarters coverage. So obviously they're both wrong because they're both out of their zone, but it's definitely wrong on both of them when it comes to that. That's tough. Easy read for any quarterback when that happens. Because when the quarterback's sitting there going, whoa, what's that?
That's why the offense calls it. It's mass confusion, Yeah. But that safety's got to be out there.
He can't jump on the dig. That dig has nothing to do with him, right? The dig is coming inside, right? He's under linebackers. There's another safety on the other side that's seeing it too. Like I don't know why the corner and the safety jumps on one man. Like that's a no-no. So that's tough. That's tough selling. That's tough sledding.
But those guys on offense get paid too,
Yeah, I mean, we do. I say that all the time. We definitely do. Oh, my goodness, big play. Pete, the running back White from Tampa Bay, I like him a lot, man. I don't say that about – me, I'm hard to please at my position. He can play. I don't even know. I don't even remember where he was coming out. Talked to Skip Pete about him in the offseason, but he can play, though. He can play.
I was with the team that drafted him. He, you know what? He Arizona State is where he was at.
Oh, he went to Arizona State. Okay.
No, you know, and he reminded me of Le'Veon Bell. He's got patience. He's got a sneaky burst to him.
Yep. Good balance.
Yep.
Right. Can
Yep.
catch the
Yep.
ball well out of the backfield.
Yep.
Like
Coming
when I saw
out.
him last year, I was like, because I talked to Skip Pete, who coached me in LA. I talked to him last year about Skip, and Skip said if they can get his head focused, he can be a great player. And
That's the thing coming out of school. That was his big thing. Who is he? What is he?
Staying focused.
Is it important to him? Yeah. Does he understand? Yeah. No, he's done a nice job.
Yeah, I mean, Skip gonna keep you in line though. Skip ain't gonna.
No, I know Skip.
Yeah, Skip ain't gonna let you. That's what
Skip
I love
was
about
my
Skip.
dad for a long time with the Raiders. Long time.
Yeah. So
Long
Skip,
time.
yeah, Skip gonna keep you in line. So speaking of that, you said there's two players that you missed on that you didn't have face to face. You only got so much time in the draft, and I went to the combine like it's like chaos. Controlled chaos, but it's
correct.
The little meetings that goes on, and y'all pulling us in and taking us out, and next we in another room and another team, and then we could be sitting in the lobby, and if y'all there, y'all talking to us, we're always being evaluated.
Correct.
But you only got so much. How much time?
Big fourth down coming up here. You going for it? 13:30 left.
Nah, you can kick it. You can kick and play defense. You don't have to go for it right here. If I was on the other side of the 40, yeah, but not right here. But you only have so much time to get to know people, Scott.
Correct.
How much?
No, you're 100% right. And the thing about it is, back when you were coming out, it was 15 minutes each team. Now it's 18 minutes. I'm like, okay, what's another 3 minutes? What's another 3 minutes going to matter? When I identified who I thought was going to be there at certain picks, first through like fifth round, I'd always fly them in. You could fly 30 guys in.
Okay.
And you get the whole day with them.
Right.
You can meet with them. The coaches can meet with them. Whoever you want to have meet with them can do it. And that helped out a lot. But still, I always say, if you know 75% of the person, not the player, the person, you're 50% ahead the entire league.
That's
and
very interesting.
Very interesting. But I'm telling you, when I hit my guys, I hit them because of the it factor, the people they were. It didn't matter if it's seventh round. It didn't matter if it's undrafted free agent. Right. I'm like, that son of a bitch. I want him with me.
Now, how many people that you've seen that you was like, he's a good player, not a good fit, bad person, got bad issues, drafted somewhere else and didn't work out, and you're like,
I dodged that bullet.
I dodged that bullet. Like, how many of those have you had in your career?
A lot, because Peter represents most of them. He's not afraid. Peter's not afraid.
Come on, Pete.
Wow. That's fine.
I'm just watching football. All right, so the Chargers just went up 22-10 on the Raiders.
Makes sense.
Tampa 23, Washington 14. Dallas 27, Cleveland 10. So we thought there'd be 4 great games in these second games, and they're all turning into be duds.
Well, the thing about it's unique. I don't understand what's going on with Deshaun Watson. I have no clue. No clue. I mean, that son of a gun, before he was suspended, he was playing lights out. I mean, he was top 5, hands down, in my opinion. And all of a sudden now, it's just like, wow.
Right now, his stat line, 14-28, 111 yards passing, and a quarterback rating just over the Lawrence Taylor line at 57.
So you're saying Bo Nix can catch him still?
I'll do some locker room investigation. We heard Billy O contacted Tony Elliott, who's obviously the head coach at University of Virginia right now, and implement a lot of what they did at Clemson, because he couldn't pick up what Billy O was taken from Josh McDaniels over there in New England. And I wonder if he's ever grown and developed, because Stefanski, you in a true West Coast offense over there, and maybe that doesn't fit him as much. Like when he became, like, at least from what we heard in the locker room, like when he became who he was, because we thought he was top 5 as well. they were running a lot of concepts and a lot of simple reads, a lot of different things that he did over there in Clemson, which makes those things easier. And I'm wondering if I know Kevin not doing that. Like my boy Bill Musgrave over there too. I know they're not doing that, right? And that can be one of the reasons why he can be struggling, right? Also, when he went through the suspension, this the whole Robert Griffin thing too. When Robert Griffin was hurt, you never got an off season, and you don't get an off season to get better.
No, you're right. You're right.
That's tough, right? You don't get an off season to get better. You like the year. I know you guys, and we say it as players. The jump from year 1 to year 2 and year 2 to year 3 needs to be humongous.
Yes.
And if you miss an off season because of injury or suspension, or you don't get a chance to get that jump, and now you're looking a certain way.
But let me ask you, CJ. If you're a football player, you're a football player, right?
I agree with that. Yes.
And you're going to find a way to be successful. I understand you get put in a certain system as a quarterback, especially because it hinders maybe what you do best. But still, you're going to make plays.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest competitive advantage. I was a film junkie, and Pete can tell you, I knew what was going on before it happened. Right, that was my competitive advantage. Like I was a film junkie. Like I could sit there and watch it and be like, this guy on his third step is going to be right here. Like I knew that, right? I put a lot of time, but being a professional, I put a lot of time in my craft. I had good advice. Pete gave me that, but I put a lot of time in my craft because I wanted to be good, right? And some people, you've definitely drafted and paid some people where once they get paid, then you're like, whoa, that's not the player they whole routine changed because now they life changed. Yep. I love the game of football. That's what football players mean to me. Football players mean to me they love the game of football, and you would play for free if they wasn't playing this at the King Ransom. You would play for free because you're a professional, right? Not because you're getting paid. So
you like this, CJ. I used to sit with Frank on the flight home. I go back, on the charter, and I'd be like, okay, so how'd the game go? And Frank coming out, he had a 6 Wonderlic score. Yep. And everybody's like, he's not smart. He's none of this, and that. And you know what? In 9 to 5, regular stuff. Nah, it's not him. I go back there, and he remember the time on the clock. He remember what linebacker and what he did in the 2 he set up to make miss. And then he'd tell me who the tough son of a gun was and who's the one that backed down from him. I mean, he could be. It was like a photographic memory.
Yeah,
I'm like, damn, dude.
And that's kind of how it was too. Like Frank ended up getting when Frank, can't remember where when he was getting coached by Eric Studesville. Can't remember where when E was coaching him, but E called me and was like, man, Frank reminded me of you. See, and I see why Frank is like one of the top backs to ever rush because he said Frank will come to me right after the series. We need to go back to this play, and I'm gonna go tell this guard this, and it's gonna be a 40-yard touchdown.
No doubt.
That's how Frank was, and that's how I was, because it just when you love the game, man, you just do it different. So I agree with you on that. When you're a football player, you're a football player.
100%.
What do you think the
big
hardest
third down stop by the Broncos? Big third down stop.
Yeah, 9-13. They're getting the ball back at 4th and 3. They got to put points on the board, even if it's 3, and make it a 10-point game with 7 minutes left, because they're probably going to take 1:30, 2 minutes on the drive. But 7 will be ideal. They got to put points on the board. What Sean has not done, even play action shots. Now, obviously, not play action shots here, but Sean has not took the chance to show Bo Nick's arm and throw the ball down the field. Like, Sean got to take some shots and open up the field. They just sit on a lot of things.
You have no choice, sir. You got
no choice.
We need to go strong right open, hound 2, double Y Flutie.
Look at that. We can't go hound 2.
He's doing that for memory, Scott. He's doing that for memory, Scott. Just so you know.
He has no idea what he's talking about. It's not hockey. It's not lacrosse.
Scott, what do you think, besides the quarterback, the toughest position to evaluate from the college to the pros?
Ooh, that's
what it is? That's a really good question. Really, really, really good. I'd say corners, just because – you want toughness, but is that the most important thing for a corner, or is it a cover corner where he's not going to tackle, but yet he's going to lock you down, or have a chance to lock you down, because I always look for the tough guy. I always want competitive guys that fight. But I mean, look at Deion Sanders. he wasn't going to tackle nobody. He would if he had to, but the son of a gun's one of the best players in NFL history. You know, I mean, I know he played both ways and a returner, and I get that stuff. But me personally, if I watched him just as a scout, I'd be like, he's really good athlete. He's got quickness, he's got twitch, he's got speed, he's got coverability, but he's not going to tackle nobody. I want 11 guys that are going to tackle. You know,
That's how you win the game. That's how you win the
Yeah.
game. Tackle, blocking and tackling. Twin, to answer some of your questions, Red Twin, I know him, man. It's one of my his name is Zach. I've been knowing him for a long time. But now, boys, he's thrown some good balls, but he's also thrown some balls behind the receivers. He's also missed some throws too. But they haven't caught too many shots down the field with that. And then, Rob, to help you with the corner, I agree with Scott on corner because in college, you can put your hands on the receiver. You can't do that in the NFL. It's illegal contact or it's holding. So in college, like corners are hard because who can truly cover without grabbing and because in college you can put your hands on the receiver until the ball is in the air. Like there is no such thing as illegal contact. There's definitely some defensive holding. That's everywhere. But like the legal contact that they call for this little 5-yard penalty, automatic first down, you can do that in college all day. You cannot do that in the NFL. And trying to see that, trying to evaluate a corner who's been taught one way and then you got to reteach them another way, that is difficult.
Well, and the thing about for a corner, you're going to lose more than you win, no matter what. Who has a mindset that can deal with that?
That too.
You know, you get in the league now, you're going to get whooped some. You know, how do you respond?
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
here, speaking of which, so Gardner Minshew right now has just thrown another pick, and it's going to be a long year for the Raiders.
AP know that. Good blitz pickup, good ball. That's good blitz pickup. See, that's the things. Good blitz pickup, replace the blitz, good ball, get the drive going. Got to play with some tempo. Shouldn't be huddling up. Let's play with some, see what they're doing, playing with some tempo. That's what the Broncos is doing right now, right? Because they know they got to score. They know they have to score.
Here.
So we're going 2 minutes from here on out?
Yes.
No huddle?
No huddle from here on out. Yeah, you have to. I mean, the time is not your friend here.
You're down 2 scores. You're down 2, not just 2 scores, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, you need 2. Yeah, you need 2 touchdowns, not just 2 scores. You need 14 points somehow, some way.
Yep.
And some. So right here, or 16 points somehow, some way. But now, like you see it, right?
But this is the thing about Scott being a baseball player when he grew up. This is the thing about statistics. Welcome back, Al.
We went quad for a while, and then he's been sitting there. And I was
Scott, it's been great listening to Scott. It's incredible.
I'm Al's wife. Yeah. I'm a Raider girl.
Yeah, she has a question for Kirk.
Oh, Lordy, I like it. Bring it.
Sorry,
Bring it.
I have a question for you guys.
Elbow. Oh.
Hi. So my question is, now that they're playing college players, does that change anything from these guys moving into the pros, or does it make it any different?
Wait, say again. I'm sorry.
She says because they're paying the players in college.
Now NIL is big.
How does that affect
How does that affect you as a GM?
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't affect me at all. Now, the thing about it is a lot of these guys that we're talking about early, first day, second day, first 3 rounds, whatever, they're getting paid anyway. They're already getting paid. It's just under the table. Now it just makes it official. No, it doesn't change.
It's legit.
Yeah, but again, that's why you need to figure out the person. Is it about money or is it about the game? And you can figure that out pretty quick. At least I could. I thought I could. I was not always right, but I try to get into their soul and just figure out, okay, why you want to play football? What's going to make you from good to great to special? What's going to make you take the next step? And all of a sudden, a guy would tell me what's my mom, my grandma. I'm like, wow.
Okay. They have, what is it, like $20 million to spread around. It'll also show you what kind of character they have, right? Like what they do.
Correct.
Yeah,
And no matter what, you got to figure no matter what in the NFL, you're going to make money.
Right.
If you make the 53, you're making money. Every bar is different, how much you make. But it was funny because the best players I've ever been around, the Reggie Whites, the Brett Favres, the Frank Gores, those type of cats, money didn't change them. Zero. Matter of fact, it made them play harder. It made them want to prove themselves more as a person and as a player.
Yeah.
And then some of the big schools, just me coaching in college, like some of the big schools have that type of money to throw around, but most of the schools don't, right? So like when you think of the Alabamas, the Georgias, the Ohio States, where a lot of these early round picks, go out, like you said, they're getting paid under the table. But some of the schools that Scott has drafted out of that are, still Power 5 programs, Cal, Maryland, these schools, we don't have the same money as those to allocate. So you get those hungry football players that usually become great football players, right? Because they put the time and the work in and et cetera.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and the thing about it is I think what's going to happen, and it's already working that way, there's going to be regulations put on it. Because just like, as Peter can tell you, it's like free agency in the NFL. You have certain periods where teams can talk to players, talk to agents. Right now in college, transfer portal and NILs, and I think the government's going to step in and say, no, we got to have regulations, because I know a couple coaches, and they call me and want me to help them recruit players, college coaches. I'm like, absolutely not. I'll never do that. But they're just doing it because it's a free for all.
Yeah, it'll be a cap on it soon. I mean, me coaching in college, it'll be a cap on it soon. I mean, some of the good schools, that's a flag. Where's the flag at, by the way?
Yeah.
Wow. But
no, there ain't no flag. That's my guy. They don't call penalties on my guy.
Your guy out there grabbing and pulling, tackling receivers.
No, that wasn't my guy. That was 27. My guy's 2.
Oh, he slipped.
Hey, we're gonna. Hey, I'm gonna pull you aside here. Maria, thanks for the great question.
Yeah, thank you for answering.
Hey, by the way, be a Raider for life. I was born a Raider.
I am. I was born in Walnut Creek.
I was born in Alameda.
I'm from Vallejo. Let's get it.
Hey, Rob. Hey, Al, or Rob, quit with all these people from California on. Look who just joined us.
Oh, there and he left us. There he is.
Pat, man, what's up, man? Ooh, interception, both Knicks. That's game. What's happening, Philly?
Nobody cares about fucking California, first and foremost.
I'm pretty sure we just went down to Alabama and beat Auburn, bro. Like, what are you
hollering? Oh, y'all did, but Alabama got a good team. They got a 17-year-old freshman, the youngest freshman in the fucking country. So let's put some respect on Alabama name, bro.
He can play, but we beat Auburn. Yeah. We just beat Auburn this weekend. We go to Tallahassee in 2 weeks to beat on them Florida boys too.
Hey, Fat Boy, y'all.
We get Miami come to California.
Boy, y'all shitty, Fat Boy. Y'all shitty. If you really want to talk numbers.
All right, man.
If y'all really want to talk, like, Fat Boy, y'all shitty.
Where? Tell me where right now.
Bro,
where y'all dominating?
Do you really think y'all gonna win this game?
Now?
Do you really think y'all gonna win? Y'all gonna win? You gonna win in this game?
When we go down to Florida State? Yeah. Yes.
Get the fuck out of here.
Come on, Pack.
Hey, Florida State, the worst team in America right now. Y'all still won't beat them.
We'll see in 2 weeks. What
you want to bet on it? What you want to bet on it?
I got your number.
What you want to bet on it?
I got your number.
I'm saying right here on live, motherfucker. How many push-ups can you do right now?
I can do more than you.
How many push-ups can you do?
I can do more than you.
Hey, can you give me a wine, bro?
Give me a wine
so I can get started on this ass. Hey, first of all, Ohio legal. Are y'all smoking?
We ain't smoking, big dog.
All right, good.
Hey, one of my favorite.
Second of all, I got me a Pinot Grigio.
So look, I'm gonna tell everybody. I don't know if Pat remembers.
Because I don't even drink liquor. You know why I don't drink liquor?
Hey, we know why for sure.
No, because motherfuckers like you trying to tell me what I don't know. That's why.
My favorite Pac-Man story. We're playing Cincinnati.
With you. You know I love.
You know it's all love.
Let me make this say, bruh. You know I love you to death.
Oh, you my dog, bruh.
All right, say no more.
You my dog. Hey, so my favorite.
To you.
Hey, you remember this story? We playing y'all.
Nigga, hey, you handicap got a Super Bowl, bro.
Handicap? I earned that. Shit, all those person that scored a touchdown in the chip.
Who was your quarterback?
I earned that. He didn't throw a touchdown.
Who was your quarterback, bro?
Did he throw a touchdown in the chip?
Who was your quarterback?
Peyton Manning, but did he throw a touchdown in the chip?
Nigga.
He didn't throw a touchdown in the chip.
Anybody could have won a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning, nigga.
Hey, call it what you want.
What are you talking about?
Call it what you want.
Oh yeah.
I know a lot of Super Bowls he did not win without me.
And the only reason y'all beat us while we was there because I was too high. I was so high that game. I ain't gonna lie. But
so look, I'm finna talk about that game. Do you remember when you tried to fight my running back coach after the game?
Fuck your running back coach.
Hey, so I'm gonna tell y'all this story. Pack and my running back coach in the middle of the third quarter are arguing with like yelling and cussing at each other.
No,
Pack calling
for real.
He's calling them that. So after the game, Pack ain't shaking no hands. Pack runs straight to him.
I'm like, what's find this nigga? The fuck?
That is my favorite Pac-Man story. I had to grab Pac. I was like, nah, little bro, I gotta go get him. Where he at? I'm like, bruh, calm down. He's like 60. Pac didn't care about none of that. He's ready to beat up on the 60-year-old.
Hey, look.
Fucking greasy.
First and foremost, when the fucking whistle starts, I don't got nothing to do with age, none of that shit. I don't give a fuck if you 17, 21, or 82. When the fucking whistle starts, get out my way, bro.
That is my favorite Pac-Man story, man. I saved E from getting the ass whooping that night.
Hey, y'all did beat us at Denver though, but we whooped y'all ass in Cincinnati though. No, nobody.
Yeah, when y'all had the picks.
Yeah.
Monday night and the rain. Y'all got on us. Y'all got on us.
Y'all did win the Super Bowl.
If y'all would have won that game, y'all would have been the number 1 seed.
It was Jeremy Hill's fault.
He fumbled.
Hey, look, bro. Let's not even talk about that, bro. I ain't gonna need to say nothing, but.
All right, hey, Pac. All right, talk to us. Great first day of football.
No, hold on, Peter.
No. Tell me what your
Peter,
number one takeaway.
Let me tell you how I really feel about that play.
All right.
We stripped him.
I'm trying to put it in words where I don't cuss and stuff.
Naked. Give it to us.
Jeremy Hill was the worst Bengal player ever alive.
They had a good team that year, Pete. They were good. They were damn good that year.
Made a lot of money with the Bengals. I still got Gucci socks, all that. I would have made a lot more money if Jeremy Hill didn't fumble that ball.
That broke the team up. He ain't lying.
Oh God,
he ain't let that thing go. And we was like, whoa, what just happened?
And first of all, I've never forgive them from that moment. And that's just me. And you can say what you want to say about me. I don't give a fuck. Never forgive Jeremy Hill from that moment. If you would have fumbled that ball, bro, I would have said the same thing about you, which you didn't. But if I had one time in my whole career that I was disappointed or upset about or that I regret, I ain't gonna say regret because I don't really regret it because shit happened, but like that's the one part.
Yeah, y'all had a good team. Y'all could have won. Y'all could have also won the chip that year. Y'all was good.
Shut up,
damn
bro.
Good. Y'all was damn good.
So, all right, so
hey,
Scott,
bro.
you just wait, hold up,
bro, put some
Scott,
respect.
you just said,
Steve, put some respect on our name.
No, y'all was good, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Y'all was good.
Bro.
Y'all had bro. You and Dre, right? You and Dre.
Yeah,
right?
we was good, bro.
You got
nigga.
I forgot. Yeah, y'all had Tez.
Tez perfect.
I forgot who the D tackle? Samoan, bro.
Pecco? No. He's talking about
he was cold, cuz.
He coaching at Dallas right now. Pecco.
Is he?
Pecco.
Yep. Pecco.
Pecco wasn't like Gino though.
He was a beast though. Yeah, Gino another one.
The best.
Gino another one.
Gino was the best D tackle D lineman that ever came in Cincinnati history.
Yeah, Gino was cold. Y'all was good. Y'all was strong on D. On D.
Wait, hold
y'all
up.
Just had Peyton Manning. We had. Guess who we had as the quarterback, bro?
Red Rifle. I thought y'all love Andy over there.
Hey, you're an asshole, bro.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, bro. You're an asshole.
Hold up.
I'm about to end this call.
No, hold up.
End this call right now, bro.
We were just talking about scouting corners. Is there a corner you ever scouted that was more talented than this kid coming out?
Pac-Man?
Yeah.
He was legit. He was lights out. He was very,
He's
very
lying. He's
twitchy,
lying.
very,
He's lying.
very explosive. No, I've got some good ones now. I've got a lot of good ones. I've been
Hey, bro,
around good ones.
don't blow my tool up.
Yeah, I'm not blowing your tool. Don't worry about that, partner. I grew up with Lester Hayes, just so you know.
Hey, but look, this is what I'll tell you this. On Sunday, nobody want to fuck with me on Sunday. Now, maybe Monday through Friday, cool.
I
On
got you.
motherfucking Sunday, when I get in that stadium, no
You know,
cap.
so what also made Pat Man dangerous? He was a damn dangerous returner. How much would you love these new kickoff rules, bruh? If you
You
was
know
back there
what?
returning,
Hey, bro, I probably, like, if I started in this era right now,
I say the same thing, bruh. I say the same thing. It's
hey,
just the way they
look,
are.
and I ain't trying to say that. I'm not trying to
Hey,
say that about the football that's going on right now.
It just ain't the
But
same. It ain't the
it
same.
ain't what, like,
It ain't what
our
we
shit was
played.
hard, bro.
Yeah,
It
it
was
ain't
hard.
what we played.
It was hard.
It ain't
It was
two a
hard. I'm talking about
days and full
real physical.
pads and
Yeah,
yeah.
real
It
physical
ain't none of
football.
that. It ain't none of that.
Yeah.
It ain't none
And,
of
and,
that.
and I ain't saying against the game. I'm not saying nothing against the game right now. It's physical football, but it ain't
nah,
what
it's
we.
changed. It's changed. The
Yeah,
thing
bro.
is, Pack, the thing about it, I grew up, with the Packers and then the 49ers and the Seahawks. We always wanted tall, long corners, Richard Sherman type shit. But I always remember you coming out. You remind me of Antoine. Remember Antoine Winfield, Ohio State?
Yeah,
Just a bad motherfucker.
he
Never
wasn't
back
me though.
down. Never
He
back
wasn't me.
down from nothing.
He wasn't
Nothing.
me. He did not. He did not make All Pro or the
Oh, I bet
decade
he.
team.
Oh, I bet he did. Oh, I bet he
No,
did. He was.
No, he
trust
He
me.
was a
wasn't
I'm
damn
as
good
watching him.
player.
He didn't. He
he
didn't make All Pro.
Winfield never made All Pro.
Never.
he
Look it up on
he,
your
he
phone
wasn't
right
as
now.
twitchy, Scott. I don't think he was as
No. He wasn't
explosive.
twitchy. No, he wasn't twitchy. But I saw him hit Frank Gore and knock him sideways 5 fucking yards in the air. He was so fucking tough.
All right,
That's
I
some.
respect it. But
Yeah,
like
no,
that's
he's
all I know how to do. I'm a
he's
kid
tough.
from the project, so like the hitting shit. I played linebacker in high school. That shit was easy.
No,
Bo
I
Nix
hear you.
touchdown.
That
Bo
shit
Yeah,
was
Nix
easy. Like
touchdown. 26-20.
he was a
yeah,
second team. He was a second team All Pro, but nah,
yeah. He
Pack
went
Pack
first team. Hey, bro,
Pack was a
hold
Pack was a
on, bro,
first team
bro,
All Pro.
bro.
Put some respect on Pack.
People can say everything about me. Yeah, he only made one Pro Bowl, but I honorable mention for 6 Pro Bowls.
Yep,
I made the All Decade team,
yep,
All Pro team.
yep.
How many fucking corners? There are really good corners. I'm talking about it's some really good corners that should be Pro Bowl, Hall of Fame corners that did not make All Decade team.
No,
That
you're
did not
100%
make it.
right. 100% right. No, there's
That's
good
all I'm
corners
saying.
all
Like,
over the place.
and look, and the other part is, bitch, I got suspended, came
Yeah.
back, did it my way. Hey, Peter, am I lying, Peter?
Nope.
Huh.
I did.
Ain't
I
nobody
sat
You
did
with.
what the fuck I did. Like everybody goes, oh yeah, I was this and that. Shut the fuck up, bro. I got kicked out of the league, bro. Nobody even wanted to let me in the league.
Hey, wait. True story. So we go to New York to meet with all the people around the commissioner, and we're there, and we're just telling all these great stuff. Adam's there. He got his criminal lawyer, the NFLPA lady, da da da. And all of a sudden, Roger Goodell comes in, goes like this to Adam. They went in the room by themselves, him and Roger. Somehow he came out unsuspended.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Roger Goodell. I
Hey,
love Roger Goodell.
I rock with Roger. I had some conversations with Roger too.
Now I ain't
Roger not
understanding. Hey, hold on.
he
You
not
ain't
what
had a
people think
conversation.
he is.
Hold on, you ain't had a conversation that I had, nigga.
I had a
Oh, yeah.
conversation with him.
No,
Not what you had though.
You
Not
ain't
about
been
what
in
you
the
had.
trouble that I've been in.
Nah. I
But
made
this is what I
sure.
will tell you. This is, and y'all, this gonna go probably crazy, but this is what I'll tell you about Roger. He really fucking care about the players.
Yeah, he understand. That's what I was finna get at.
No. He didn't understand at first. At first, he did not understand. Like, I ain't gonna let you say, oh yeah, he been understand. No, the fuck he didn't.
No, because obviously when he
And
talked to
then, hold
you,
on, just hear me out 1 second. So after, like, I went through the suspension and all that shit, and like, then it kind of kicked into him, like, all right, he's a regular fucking person. then a lot more other shit started happening. But like the last meeting I had with Roger Goodell, I swear to God, like, and I ain't just because I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't play the NFL no more. But like, it was really fucking good. Like, it was top 10 meeting. Like, all right, I'm gonna do what's best for you and the players. Because I was on bullshit. I ain't gonna tell y'all no like, hey, bro, I don't agree with what the fuck you talking about, and you wrong. And it came to a conversation with me, him, what's the other dude named Peter?
Jeff Pash.
Jeff Pash.
Jeff Pash, and the black dude.
Oh, Adolfo.
Nah.
Oh, Troy.
Oh,
Vince.
Troy Vincent.
Vince.
Yeah.
Fuck Jeff Pash. On another note, yeah.
Correct.
But Troy,
I love Jeff.
well, that's
Yeah,
because
you
you white,
would because
nigga. You're white.
because you're
You're
Jewish.
white America, motherfucker. You and this motherfucker, y'all went to Ivy School together. Jeff Pash didn't understand nothing about a black player or athlete ever.
Hey, what year was this, Pat?
Hey, this motherfucker was a white American, bro. And was full of shit.
What year was this?
Never care about the players, none of that shit. He only knew was law. Like, all right, this is right, this is wrong. Bitch, what about like in between? And Peter, as an agent that you saying you fuck with Jeff Pash, fuck you.
Now, Pat, what year was this?
What year was
this when you talked to Roger? Because when I talked to Roger in 2018, that's when I was like, "Oh, bro, really care about us." That was my first conversation with him, though.
Nigga, you small fry, nigga. I was the poster boy in 2004.
Yeah, because you was out of there, bro. You know you was out of there.
Hey, bro, I've been rich, bro. I was the 6th overall pick.
You was out of there.
Do your homework, bro.
Oh, I know about you, bro.
The fuck?
I know about you, bro.
Nobody was like me. Nobody was like me, bro.
You and Lee was two separate people.
Who
almost had the same story.
Who you said?
You and Talib was two separate people who almost had the same story.
I'm about to hang up off this call, bro.
No, Talib was never as talented as
Talib was never like me, but
no.
You didn't think Talib was as talented as Pat?
No, not even close.
Wow. That's hard to argue. I'll argue that.
Rob, how about that for some TV?
I know, right? You guys got dial tone by Pac-Man Jones. He hung up on you, CJ.
That's fine. He didn't like the Talib comment. Me riding for my teammate, but
I couldn't wait to ask him about Riley Moss.
Oh, yeah, that would have been hilarious.
Oh, it would not have been good.
Yeah, that would have been hilarious. Wait, I want to say this in all respect, right? You do know Talib got double the interceptions Pat got.
Yeah, no, Talib
double. Like let's not talk. I hear you on maybe skill and talent, but we gotta talk about the production. Same with now. He didn't have the bigger the off-field issues is our man Pac-Man. That's facts. But don't get it wrong. Talib got some off-the-field issues too.
He definitely had a couple.
Yeah, he wasn't no saint either.
No.
Now, for all the audience out there, you can tell the difference of the clients of what Peter had to deal through when he's dealing with Pac-Man and then dealing with CJ Anderson. You can tell, where a lot of his phone calls went at.
Hold up. Let's go to the Broncos here. 3rd and 11.
Big play.
Big play right now.
Big play, 3rd and 11. One timeout left, right? They got Broncos jumps off sides. Free play.
It's all
right. It's still okay.
Yeah, because it's going to stop the clock, A.
Yep.
So you save your timeout. And then they didn't get the first, so they got to take the penalty. So here comes another 3rd down. It'll be 3rd and 6. But you got to watch the ball. So now it's 3rd and 6 and 3rd and 11.
Right. This is the play of the game right now.
Yes. It is the game right here.
Yeah, if they don't get the first, it's over.
Yep.
If they get the first, it's over, I meant to say.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So here we go.
They'll run it out.
They can nail it out.
Well, yeah, they'll be able to kneel it out.
They'll be able to nail it out.
Yep.
And you've got to figure that I guarantee you Seattle's running an RPO.
So Pete, they're an empty right here. Quad's empty too. This is interesting.
No, you got to go RPO.
I'm just telling you what they in. There's some college shit. Man to man by VJ. Oh, beat beat Riley Moss on the crosser route. Game over. We talked about Riley Moss. We talked about how he had to make plays.
Yeah, he had good coverage.
He should have went for the tackle. No, Pete, you went for the ball. Just tackle him, and he's under. You don't do that.
Yeah, you got to get him to the ground.
Nah, you got you don't gamble for the ball right there, Pete. You stay on his hip, let him catch the ball. Right, he's under the sticks. You don't do that. He's under the sticks. You catch him. You let him catch it. You tackle him right there. It's 4th and 3. They're punting the ball. You're getting the ball back. That's not an experienced corner play.
No, he's young though, but yeah, you're right. You're completely right.
Yeah, you don't do that there.
Don't play the ball. Yeah, get him. Yep. And Lockett's tricky too. Now you know that. That's a hell of a catch. Wow.
Yeah, that's a hell of a catch right there. But if he stays on, I'm pretty sure VJ is going to tell him, "Hey, young man, in that situation, we just need you to make the tackle so we can give our team the ball back. You knocking the ball down there."
What about Bo Nix for the day, throwing 42 times? And
Too much.
138 yards.
Gotta run the football more. I don't think any quarterback. I said this about Lamar, who's 8-year, 2-time MVP. He threw the ball 42 times opening night. Too much. Even though he had 16 carries himself, but too much, right? You got to find a way to, you didn't bring in Derrick Henry not to run the ball. You got to find a way to establish the run to make their jobs easier.
Well, the thing is, CJ, as you're well aware, once you establish the run, what you need to do early, then you got play action. It opens everything up. Everything.
It makes that life a lot easier.
That's why that offensive line is so important. You got to build up front, When your team just getting into it, you got to keep, and every year you got to keep adding to it. I don't care if it's second string, third string guys. You keep adding to them,
I mean, overall, week 1, what are your thoughts on the Broncos and Bo Nix? I mean, 3 turnovers. They got 1 back on a fumble. Only losing by 6. Being in it in the 4th quarter.
It ain't gonna get easier. Pittsburgh ain't no slouch. Pittsburgh come in next week. You see what TJ Watt and them just did this week to Kirk Cousins? It ain't gonna get no easier. It ain't gonna get no easier. That's the NFL.
If it wasn't for the flags, they'd had a couple more on them too.
it ain't getting no easier. But I think obviously from a coach's perspective and thinking that as a coach way, Sean know he has to find other ways to get the ball out of Bo's hands and to create explosive using Bo's skill set. He was a lot. For Sean to be an aggressive play caller, he was a lot more conservative today than I've ever seen him call a game. Now, I've also never seen him with a rookie quarterback either.
Correct.
Right? What's happening, Cuddy? I ain't never seen him with a rookie quarterback either. But he also understands that he has to find ways, right, to use Bo's skill set in a way that flows the offense and put him well. Because obviously you've seen BJ gonna keep the defense in. I mean, BJ. And another thing is too what they're saying, right? We had two turnovers earlier in the game.
So close.
We had 2 turnovers early in the game where we could have put up 14, but we only took 6. We got 2 safeties. Think about that. 14 points with 2 safeties.
Right.
That's a different ball game. And the touchdown that they add, that's a different ball game, right? Than taking those 3s in that situation. So it's things like that they're going to look at that they can be better. And I think on VJ's side, right, BJ know in early until Bo get going, BJ know he's going to have to keep him in games.
Yeah, but it's
right?
what we talked about. That. Scott, I know I've been in a booth with you during games. You get two turnovers, a short field, and you only scored 2 points or 3 points. Like I said, they should have been up 14-3, in which case they're winning by 7.
Yeah, the game changes.
Well, and especially with the young quarterback, a rookie quarterback. I thought he did a good job just for his first start, especially at that place because, I worked there, and that place is tough to play in. It is loud.
They put up stats against him and John Elway and on their first games, and it was so far superior for
Yeah, I mean, Peyton Manning owes the interception record. I try don't try to cut into those stacks because obviously it depends on the type of player. Like Peyton went 3-13, he turns around and go 13-3. right? Elway gets benched his first game, and we all know how Elway's career comes out. It makes it good for TV, but
What about
the player has to do the work.
Comes down to skills.
What about Troy Aikman? 1-15.
Yeah, Troy Aikman was 1-15, and
Yeah.
so I remember that too. Shit, Troy Aikman was 1-15. Go draft Emmett, life changes.
I was with Green Bay, and Holmgren set Favre down the last game of the season because he's getting ready to set the interception record. So I'm not playing him. I'm not playing him. I'm set the record.
Yeah, I knew game one.
Evil.
The D line is just something that both seen for the first time full speed, ones on ones, right? Something he didn't see in preseason, right? Yep. And that's the difference. And it's gonna take some time for both to get that going. Rarely do you have like what CJ Stroud did last year was crazy. Rarely do you see that out of rookie quarterbacks. But if you look at the way they ran the ball and how they helped CJ, right? They did some things to help CJ to make his job as easy as they did, and now they gave him more weapons, right? This year for him to do those things. So it's gonna be it's just a conversation that they gotta have, right? Bo gonna get better from it, but right now the defense got to keep him in the game for sure.
Well, Scott, I'm watching right now. Commanders, Tampa. It's 37-13, minute and a half left. Washington still has Jaden Daniels in the game. Yeah, no, he just ran for a touchdown, but he just took a pop.
But just trying to get him reps.
I get that, but I get it. You're trying to get him reps, but at some point you're like, all right, let's just circle the wagons. Let's go.
Yeah, but you knew this when you drafted him, though, Pete. This is what he do. He was getting hit at LSU. This is just him. This is just him, bro. Like that's Arizona what scares me about him. Yeah, Arizona State too. That's what scares me about him. He will understand what that means as he getting laid on by 200-pounder, 200-pounder, 300-pounder.
And the thing about it, CJ, they were hard hits, and he'd flip in the air. And the son of a bitch get up every time like it's nothing. I'm like, dude, you don't need to do that.
Right, get down.
Get out of bounds.
The best example I give people is Cam Newton. I truly seen Cam Newton arm, shoulder, like go down because he kept pounding defenders and not realizing he was pounding himself at the same time.
100%. No, it's scary.
Quick update around Cowboys are up on your Browns 33-10.
Yeah,
like I said, the Bucks are up 37-20 on the Commanders and went final. In our division, the Chargers beat the Raiders 22-10. After what you guys saw today, we'll start with CJ. What do you think, like, has your prognosis or your predictions of how the season for the Broncos is going to change at all? Like, how are they? The Vegas has them as like 5.5 wins. Are they going to get the over on that, or what are you thinking?
It's hard to tell week one. Like the NFL, and Scott can tell you this too. And Pete can too. The NFL is a week-to-week league. Every week you look different. Every week you're just trying to get better. You know, you see one team play really bad one week, they play really awesome the next week. It's a week-to-week league. You got to stay focused. I already came in and thought that Bo will win 5 to 6 games this year, maybe 7. So that, like, when I said this, when we talked about it on the preview on Friday, right, the ceiling 8-9 wins, that's a good year for the Broncos, right? But I think 7 wins is also solid for them too, to know what you got going on. But it's how it all comes together, right? I know we like to in media and those things, we like to put a lot on the QB, but it's a lot that goes into that. Play calling, right, weapons. Run game.
Everything comes back to the running game, CJ.
It's a lot that goes into that. I mean, it's you look at Caleb Williams, who threw for 93 yards, right? There's no way you would say there's no way he throw for 90. Like he can light it up next week, and they go, hey, that's why he was the number 1 overall pick, right?
Yep.
But it's a week-to-week league, man, and but I think they get over 5.5 wins. Right, they still play because we don't know who they are. They still play the Chargers and the Raiders. You don't know who they are, right? Like I ain't got until Jim Harbaugh get going, right? You don't know who they are just yet. So they still got the division, but it's gonna be tough. But you don't really. Week 1 matters. Week 1 only matters when you look at those games in week 15. Like, damn, we should have beat them in week 2. We'll be the number 1 seed right now. Right? So that's the only time week 1 matters, but. It's a week-to-week league.
Alan, Maria, what do you guys think? Would Broncos, does it change what you think? 5.5 wins are over?
You know what? All I've been thinking since I've been listening to you guys is you guys can make this sport fun to watch. And you need to just keep doing this because I'm going to be on watching you guys every time there's a game because you guys are so interesting and knowledgeable and fun and funny. It's awesome. Awesome.
I think the Broncos can do it.
Yes, thank you.
I have faith. I really do. I think he's great.
No, I think I'll be curious to see the week 1 to week 2 improvement of Bo Nix. What about you, Scott? Where are we standing with the Broncos?
You know what unique about that question? When I was in Green Bay, when I first started, I was there for 5 years, in 4 years. Ron Wolf, who was, Hall of Fame GM, he says you got to leave. You got to go with Holmgren to Seattle, and Ted Thompson, who was a good friend of mine. And I'm like, why? He says, well, I'm going to retire because of free agency. They're still in my roster. People are paying my roster, so whatever. But he says, you go with Holmgren, you'll win 2 more games a year no matter what. And I think with Sean, they'll win 2 games just by his play call and his coaching philosophy and his, leadership. So if you think, I think Bo's going to win 5 by himself. So you give him 2 more, that's 7, easy. I think Sean's that good coach and play caller.
No, absolutely. What about you, Peter? Where are you standing with the Broncos season predictions now?
If you look at the schedule, they've got 7 games coming up, and there's no easy ones in the NFL, but not one of those 7 is against the Chiefs or the Cowboys or, the Niners.
You got $1. I'm going for the Bucks on that one. Sorry.
There you go, girl. There you go.
I get it.
What I'm talking about. Yay.
You got Tampa and you got the Jets. You got
And maybe
Raiders.
the Raiders. I don't know.
It's not. What Pete's saying is, it's not the elite teams that he's finna run into in the next 7 games.
Right. It's not the SEC where you go Georgia, Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee.
Right.
Northwestern.
So what I'm hearing Peter saying is you're saying there's a chance.
I think that they can make the playoffs.
You can't see what?
I don't think that.
I agree with Peter.
I'm saying that on camera. It's just the AFC is too loaded. The AFC is too loaded. There's 6 teams that can win double-digit wins, and both of those 6 teams are in the same division.
Yeah, but everybody was predicting the Browns in the Super Bowl, and they just struggled to get the double digits. So
not Super Bowl. They could still win the division. They could still compete in division with double-digit wins.
They didn't compete today.
Exhibit B is
week 1. We know what week 1's like.
CJ,
the Browns
hey, CJ, I'll put up Exhibit B as the Bengals. We thought they were a strong playoff team, and they just lost to the Patriots.
Right, and they just lost to the Patriots today. It's week 1. Scott knows, like Pete knows, like I know. Football starts in November.
I'll be in Pete's courtroom with him defending the Broncos. I got your exhibits here with you.
Can we get Pack back on as he rolls a big old Bob Marley joint?
I was going to say, Peter, I think you're doing what Pac-Man's doing.
Stirring up the pot.
Predictions.
Deshaun Watson, 23 of 43 for 162.
Awful, dude. Awful.
Yeah, which is crazy in Stefanski offense because they run the football, but no Nick Chubb for 4 weeks.
Yeah, but he's coming back though soon though. He'll be back after the 4th game.
Right, but no Nick Chubb for 4 weeks. That hurts that.
But Ford finished the year well last year as a backup back.
No, he did, but he's not Nick Chubb.
He's not Nick. He ain't Nick. Nick a game changer now.
Yeah, big time.
Nick changes games.
Watson just got wrecked.
Yeah. And Nick's got some CJ in him. He likes to run through people and around people and over them.
Yeah, Nick got game. I like Nick game a lot.
He can ball. I was in Cleveland that year with my buddy. He was the GM. I was in the draft, and I fought for him really hard. I thought he was going to be it. I fought for his cousin too, Bradley. Yeah, and we took Denzel Ward. We had 2 first-round picks that year, so we took Baker Mayfield and Denzel Ward.
Denzel's a good pick.
Scott, would you ever draft a kicker?
Yeah.
But before the 6th round.
No.
What about a kicker from Northwestern? That would be just like a hard no, right?
First of all, it's tough to draft someone from Northwestern. Tough. Not being mean, I'm just saying they're too smart for their own good.
Scott, when's that plane taking off you're sitting in?
Oh, goodness.
So,
Well, I'll
so
tell you something. There are a lot of ways to spend a Sunday afternoon, but this was a fun way.
It was
absolutely,
very
Oh
fun.
God.
You
Thank
guys
you.
were great.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you
Yeah,
guys.
no, it's very fun.
Thank
absolutely.
you
What-
guys. Thank you guys. It makes my day go by better. All I do is watch football. All week I watch tape, and then weekends I watch college and pro. So it's good to
All
have a
I
little
do.
mix up.
That's
Well,
all I do.
No.
abs- it
Well,
was
except for in June when he watches the College World Series.
True.
He might be the only person that actually scores the College World Series at home.
can't say that's the worst thing to do. Can't say. So
No.
before we let you guys go, last quick questions. Rams and Lions tonight. I just think it's a fascinating matchup with they swap their quarterbacks and they're both, I think, just fun teams to watch. Who you guys have tonight? Al, who do you got?
Lions.
CJ.
You got the gritty and you got the boy wonder, but I'm gonna go with the grit. I think the Lions find a way to win the game tonight.
I do.
Scott, who do you got?
I worked with McVay in Washington. I'm taking it. He's a hell of a offensive minded coach.
Crazy play caller. I got to play for him. Woo!
He'll have them ready to roll early in the season. And a lot of times the offenses are behind the defenses early in the season, but he'll have them locked in.
Yeah,
And
it
I
won't
think-
be behind.
Yeah, and I think Stafford's a hell of a quarterback.
I got 2 words for you, Rob.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald. You lose Aaron Donald,
That's different too.
you're not the same team.
That's different too.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, Aaron Donald fixed a whole bunch of mistakes. He's a band-aid to a lot of panaceas that can ill a team. And you lose him, that's a different ballgame.
No, absolutely. And we got the Monday night game. I'm curious. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers is he going to get more than 4 snaps this year?
I hope so. Or Robert Saleh will be looking for a defensive coordinator job at the end
Not
of the
going to
year.
be vice president anymore.
Or Robert Saleh will be looking for a defensive coordinator job at the end of the year. So I hope so.
Yeah,
He's a good guy. He's a really good guy. I know him well. We used to work out every morning in Seattle. He's there every morning.
But I'm taking I still think Kyle Shanahan best play caller in the league. I'm definitely taking the Niners on Monday night. I'm not a Niner fan. Trust me when I tell you that.
I'm a Dolphin fan, so I gotta take the Niners. I can't take the Jets. I'm a Dolphin fan, so
I have no choice but to take the Niners because my boy's going in the Ring of Honor, Frank Gore.
Oh yeah.
Oh, FG going in Monday night? I thought he was going in later in the year.
No,
I didn't know
Monday
he was
night.
going in Monday night. Yeah.
No, I was supposed to be there today for his reception. I got COVID, so I couldn't go. Yeah, no. He's going in tomorrow.
Wait a second.
Tomorrow.
COVID is a thing anymore?
Yes.
But Al's in Florida, so what do you just drink Clorox or something now or something?
No, yes, just for breakfast.
You water it down a little bit. Come on.
I will say this.
I thought it was supposed to be vodka. Isn't that supposed to kill it?
He brushes his teeth with it.
I will ask you this, Scott, as we're closing. Do the Niners have the best roster in football?
You know what? They have a good roster. The thing about it, I was there 2 years ago, and Patrick Willis, and another guy I drafted, won the Ring of Honor, so I was there for that. And I watched their game live. I've been around a lot of football games. And it's not that it's a really talented roster.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they're very opportunistic, if that makes sense. They make the play when they mean to make the play. And, I watched the coach on the side. I always watch the coaches, during the game. And it was weird. It was like they weren't a real good team, but yet they still won. And they're playing Atlanta, and Atlanta wasn't very good. That's when they had Matt Ryan. He was older, of course, and all that.
Right.
But it was unique because I didn't see, like, when you're around a real good team, you see explosion, you see burst, you see twitch, you see toughness, you see just flying around the football field and just knocking the crud out of people and running the football and throwing the football. I didn't see that, but when it's all said and done, they never panicked. And it's got because of the head coach and the coaching staff. It was very unique. But they have talent, but I don't know if they have the most talent. I think, there's a lot of teams that have talent and they still don't win. But for some reason, San Fran finds a way, not the big one yet, but they still find a way to win. And, like we're talking about a little bit earlier about, you know, the win-loss for Denver. You know, the coach, if you get 2 or 3 games you shouldn't win, you win. Because when they played Atlanta, they shouldn't have won. You know, and it was at home and all that stuff. They shouldn't have won, and they did. You know, so all of a sudden now you get in the playoffs. Now anything can happen.
Well, but Scott, here's the reality: is the Niners have a very good roster because when you have a 7th-round quarterback playing at the level of Brock Purdy, that
Correct.
gives you $50 million more in cash and $50
To
million
play,
more
to
in,
do whatever you want.
to do whatever you want. That's right.
It's the same thing we had in Seattle, and we took
Russell.
in the 3rd round. Yeah, we had him on a rookie deal, and we brought in pass rushers. We brought in the defense that was the best defense in the NFL, and that's why we beat Denver in the Super Bowl. I mean, it wasn't even close. It was a complete domination.
Smoked
you know, but it's because we had money go elsewhere. Yeah, that's 100% accurate, Peter.
It makes a lot of If you got a quarterback on a rookie deal, especially not even on a 1st-round deal, that's costing $4 million a year. This is costing you $1 million. You look at Cleveland right now; they got $55 million in Deshaun Watson.
Correct.
And they scored 10 points.
And it's guaranteed. All years are guaranteed.
My agent wasn't as good as his.
Yeah, you got to find the agent that gets you fully guaranteed contract. Oh yeah. Tell Peter you guys stop going to work, my man.
Hey Rob, I'm losing my internet service.
Yeah. Going through a tunnel.
Hey, let's do this again for the Pittsburgh-Denver game. That's gonna be a huge game. We'll do it for every big game this year, Rob, right?
Absolutely. We'll put the calendar together and let people know so they can come join along. Get the guest invite linked out. Al, it was great meeting you, Scott.
Love you guys. It's our pleasure. Thank you.
Very, very good, guys. Thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Scott, great meeting you. I learned a lot listening to you today. So thank you.
Can you get COVID from someone on a Zoom?
Here, watch.
You guys are fine, I promise.
All right, don't be breathing on
But
it.
a good trick is always put wine in your coffee cup and blow on it. Nobody knows.
There you go.
Shout out our sponsors, Rob.
Hey, Simpler.ai, just making the digital world a complex world, more simple for you. You know,
And Coke
links in the
Zero.
description. And Peter's trying to get Coke Zero, and so.
Thanks, Rob.
But it's fun, guys. So we'll talk soon. We'll do it again here, and then we'll be giving our recaps during the week.
And Football Friday show.
Friday at noon. So Scott,
go.
We'll have to have you guys back on.
Wait, love to. Thanks, Rob.
Hey, Scott.
All right.
Anytime. You're welcome. Very welcome. Bye-bye.